Good evening and welcome to Gov Fuller Field, the home field of the Falmouth Commodores. I'm Danny LaRose, joined alongside my broadcast partner David Korzanowski for a rare road broadcast at our home ballpark. Reason for that being is that this game against Cotuit and between Cotuit and Falmouth is being broadcasted on Fox College Sports. They've overtaken our press box. They are taking over the video streaming. Check your local listings. I know I don't have the channel, but
also Fox Sports Go app.
Fox Sports Go app.
Maybe you might have a little bit more luck there, but
if you like us, if you like our banter,
Correct.
If you like our voices, definitely keep it locked right here. We don't have a video stream because of it, but they were apologetic. They took over our booth.
They were very gracious.
Yeah,
gracious
they were gracious,
guests.
so can't be upset. But nonetheless, we are still broadcasting. We're right here about 5 feet up the third base line by home plate and ready to watch this one between the Doors and the Kettleers, who have not faced off yet this season. This is the last team that Falmouth has yet to see, or pardon me, was scheduled yet to see. Of course, a bunch of rainouts have thrown things into confusion, but they were supposed to see Cotuit as the last team, and they are here on July 3rd. Cotuit currently sitting at 9-7-1, leading the Western Division. Falmouth at third place, 6-7-1, significant less numbers of games played thanks to rainouts. They're at third place and just bumped into third place thanks to Cotuit. Cotuit coming off of a 4-1 victory over the Bourne Braves from last night. Falmouth coming off of a 12-7 victory over Brewster.
Yeah, Danny, this is a really great night, and one of the last first matchups on the Cape, right? Most other teams have played all 10 teams, but the Commodores and the Kettleers squaring off for matchup number 1 of 6. They're going to be seeing a lot of each other in the month of July, a lot of each other in the next couple of days as we head out to Cotuit tomorrow night. So a little home-and-home action for these two teams in early July.
The first of the home-and-home will be a battle between Nick Nastrini from UCLA on the bump for Falmouth and Cole Ramage on the bump for Cotuit. We've only seen Nastrini once, so it's going to be interesting to see what he has to offer. If you were listening and watching the pregame show, David touched on that he only had 3 innings. It was about a week and a half ago, so his stuff looked really good. Got tagged a little bit by one of the best hitting teams in YD, and he's kind of got a tough go of it again. Cotuit, one of the hottest hitting teams in the Western Division as well.
Yeah, this is a really interesting matchup. You have what I think might be the best pro prospect on Falmouth's team in Nick Nastrini, a guy who is a rising sophomore at UCLA who got action in the NCAA tournament despite having some injuries this year, a guy who is very highly rated out of high school and who has nasty stuff, his fastball in the mid-90s, and he still has room to grow. He's got some great off-speed. And then you got a Cotuit team that hits the cover off the ball. 18 home runs for this team. 9 guys on the Kettleers lineup have a home run, and they have a few who've hit 3. Hayden Cantrell is the only one for Falmouth who's hit 3, and they have 6 total. So Cotuit is a very great hitting team. They get a lot of extra base hits, maybe the most out of any team that the Commodores have faced this year.
David's key was to limit the long ball, and that is something that Cotuit loves to do. They are only at 9-7-1, like I said, but they have seemed like they've been red hot lately. They're 6 of their last 4. Or 9-7-2, pardon me. They have 2 ties because ties, of course, have to exist. But I also want to look at the pitching for Cotuit. Cole Ramage, a right-handed pitcher from Arkansas. Obviously, Arkansas in the College World Series out in Omaha, so this will be his first appearance on the Cape. He's coming off of a 2019 where he had a 4.97 ERA, so really nothing to write home about, but a 7-1 record over 21 appearances. Did get to start twice and had 50 strikeouts over 54 innings pitched, 22 walks. Nothing really that stands out too much, but again, a great record being on such a successful Arkansas team.
And if you look at this pitching matchup, Danny, you got 2 of the best programs in college baseball who are going toe-to-toe here at Gov Fuller Field. This is what the Cape League's all about, right? It's early July 4th week. You got some fanfare. The World Series trophy was in town. Katie Florio is going to have more on that in the 3rd inning to talk about what that meant to the fans. But then you got some of the best players in college baseball, some guys who will be in the MLB in just a few years, in Nick Nastrini and Cole Ramage.
It's definitely the best
gonna be
part.
fun.
Best part of the summer is when July hits. The scouts are all here, the fans are all here, the players are all here as well, including the guys from Omaha. So we will get underway in just a moment. We'll run you through the lineup for the Kettleers. Leading off, Nick Gonzalez, the second baseman. He's followed by Casey Schmidt, the third baseman. Parker Chavers will be manning left field and batting third. Joey Loperfido at first base in the cleanup spot. Aubrey Major will be batting fifth and designated hitting. Oraj Anu is batting sixth at right field. Donta Williams in center field following him. And then Adam Oviedo, the shortstop, and Cody Pasek, the catcher, round out the order against or for the visiting Kettleers. So Nastrini, a righty, going up against Gonzalez, a righty, as we are just about to get underway from Gov Fuller Field. Cotuit wearing their road maroon with black lettering, pinstripe pants, the black Cotuit across the chest, and maroon socks. Falmouth in their home whites, Falmouth in maroon written across the front with the lettering on the left abdomen and the back, black hats with the maroon F and the maroon maroon socks, excuse me.
That's something about these two teams, right? They're separated by less than 10 miles, and then they have a rivalry against one another.
Right. The best rivalries are always close.
And then they got the same jerseys. Their colors are both maroon and black. Cotuit's maroon is a little bit darker, but that's about the only distinction I see. These two teams quite similar. They've had similar success as well, and they had some great games against each other last year.
Cotuit, of course, finished in fourth place in the Western Division. They got into the playoffs that way, well ahead of fifth place Bourne, but they were only 1 point behind Falmouth, who finished in third. And Falmouth was only 1 point behind Hyannis, who finished in second, so it was about 2 points separating 2 through 4 in the West. Falmouth did not have to face Cotuit in the playoffs. Cotuit got bounced in the first round. First pitch of the night coming at 6:04 p.m., swung on and fouled away by Nick Gonzalez. Gonzalez, the 5'10", 190 infielder from New Mexico State, originally from Arizona. Had a 7-game hitting streak just the past week, but it was broken on July 1st. The 0-1 to the leadoff man, taken on the outside corner. Strike one called by the home plate umpire, Jim Fonseca. At first base is David Viveros, and at third base is Glenn Cole. Big crowd on hand filling up the first base side, and I bet more will come. Just got to get out of that main street traffic.
Exactly.
Nastrini from the windup lifts the leg, left leg comes home, line drive into left field, but foul. Get ready for a lot of excited line drives into left field that go foul, because the angle we're at, you can't really tell if it's going to land foul off the bat.
Yeah, we're not used to this vantage point here at Gov Fuller Field. But we get a great look at Nastrini.
Oh, yeah. He's a tall guy. Coming from the right side of the rubber. Comes home with a fastball that's fouled back into the fence right behind home plate.
Been pounding fastball so far in this AB. Gonzalez, the leadoff guy, consistently for Cotuit, 377 average on the summer. He's doing a good job to foul away a couple pitches and stay alive.
Nastrini, 6'3", resident, or native, I should say, of San Diego, California. Pitches for UCLA just up the road. Here's the pitch, and it just misses a little bit outside. So Nick Nastrini, who got roughed up just a little bit in his first time out, only threw 3 innings, did allow 3 runs and 4 hits, had a good amount of strikeouts at 5. It's against the Yarmouth Dennis team, who is one of the tops at hitting on the Cape. The pitch, ground ball, left side. Moretto comes in charging, feels it on a forehand. Throw from the infield grass. Just in time. Out is called by David Viveros. And as Gonzalez was crossing first base, he armed safe, so a bit of a bang-bang play to start us off.
Yeah, I had my eyes on Moretto during that play, and he took his time. Clearly, Gonzalez busting up the line with some speed. Thought that he beat it out, but Moretto had it timed well the whole way.
So 1 up and 1 down as Casey Schmidt is going to be the hitter. Another right-handed bat against Nastrini. Schmidt from San Diego State, so that's in Nastrini's neck of the woods, takes a pitch at the knees for strike 1. Originally from San Diego. Was a freshman All-American in 2018, the first Aztec to do so since Steven Strasburg Good company to be in for Schmidt. Checks his swing on a breaking ball. Yes, he went around. Beautiful pitch by Nastrini, quickly 0-2.
Yeah, this is what he's doing well so far against two of the best hitters on the Cavaliers lineup is he's getting ahead in counts. He's not messing around. He went first pitch off speed to Schmidt. Try to keep these Cavaliers off balance.
The 0-2. Fly ball into left field. That one's in foul territory. Moretto gives chase. It's going out of play. Loudly, Matt Nelson taking his mask off right over near us, yelling out, 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 out. And if you don't recognize that name, well, you're not alone, because Matt Nelson is making his first appearance in a Commodores uniform, was just activated today.
Yeah, excited to see what he can do both at the plate and behind the plate. Batted .282 during his freshman year with the Seminoles. He was the number 2 catcher in Florida out of high school.
Another 0-2. It's a fastball that just misses low to Schmidt. Schmidt has been red hot lately. He's 3 for his last 9 at-bats, has hits in 4 of his last 5 games played. Batting only .197 coming into the ball game, but he's heated up. Nastrini gets him to swing 1-2 on a high fastball. He really ramped that one upstairs, but Schmidt went and chased.
That's just unhittable. That one was about neck high to Schmidt, but out of the hand of Nastrini. He thought it was going to land in the strike zone, so he starts to go around because you got to start that swing early against Nastrini's fastball. By the time he tried to make the adjustment, couldn't make contact.
Parker Chavers now steps up to the plate. Nobody on and 2 outs in a 0-0 game in the first. Chavers, the first lefty that we're seeing, manning left field for the Cavaliers. First pitch swinging, he goes right through it. Another, looks like a little bit off speed from Nastrini. Chavers out of Coastal Carolina, originally from Montgomery, Alabama. Here's Nastrini's 0-1 upstairs.
Chavers had a great night on July 1st against Hyannis. That was the game which saw Gonzalez have his hit streak snapped, but Chavers had a home run and 3 RBIs.
1-1 comes up empty yet again as the fastball is just getting blown by a Chavers right now. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Mentioned July 1. He's caught some fire during that time. He's 4 for his last 8. The pitch. Line drive into left field. That one is camped under and caught by Austin Maisel, and a 1-2-3 inning will do it for Nick Nastrini in the first. We will head to the home half of the first. 0-0 between the Doors and the Cavaliers.
Curry College offers 14 NCAA Division III athletic teams in sports such as football, baseball, softball, basketball, hockey, soccer, lacrosse, tennis, cross country, and volleyball. Read about the success of the Curry Colonials and their championship teams. It's all online at www.curry.edu.
Urgent Care is now available at 4 Cape Cod Healthcare locations: Hyannis, Falmouth, Sandwich, and Harwich. Open after hours and weekends. Staffed by ER physicians. Expert care when you need it. Learn more at capecodhealth.org/urgentcare.
Welcome back to Gov Fuller Field in Falmouth, Massachusetts. 0-0 score so far after just the top first. And we'll take you through the lineup for the homestanding Commodores. Leading off, as ever, the red-hot Hayden Cantrell manning second base. He's followed by Blake Dunn, the center fielder. Zach DeLoach, who is 6 for his last 6, trying to make it 7 for 7 in the first inning. He's batting third, playing right field. Troy Claunch will be getting his first appearance at first base. He's staying in the cleanup spot. Trey Cruz after him, the designated hitter. Matt Nelson, the new guy from Florida State, will be doing the catching in his very first day as a Door. Austin Maisel will follow him in the 7-hole coming off of a 4 for 5 night. He's playing left. Steven Moretto, the third baseman, batting 8th, and Kevin Kendall at shortstop yet again in the 9-hole.
Let's go, Austin Maisel.
Yeah.
Up to the 7 spot, playing 7 in left field, and he was amazing last night. 4 for 5 in the 9 spot. And when he's gotten his opportunities, he's just made the most of every chance that he's gotten. If you watched our post-game show from last night, which is up on our YouTube page, he's so relaxed in his interviews. He's so relaxed this summer. He says, I'm just trying to have fun because when I have fun, I do better. And we can see it last year when he was here in Falmouth, a lot more tense maybe at the plate, overthinking it, trying to do too much. He said he's going up there, swinging the bat, and just having a good time. And now this is the highest he's batted in the Commodores lineup.
I mean, that's something that Hayden Cantrell told us a couple days ago. Jeff Trundy says that about just about everything you're doing in life. I mean, it could be cleaning, mopping your floors, and he'll say just have fun with it. So very much a Commodore mentality, especially in summer ball. Hayden Cantrell steps into the left-handed batter's box and toes some of the dirt around as he'll go up and face the big righty Cole Ramage from the University of Arkansas. First pitch from Ramage, fastball lined foul up the first base side, 0-1. Once again, if you're just tuning in and wondering why there's no video stream despite us being at home at Gov Fuller Field, that is because Fox Sports has taken over our press box.
Yeah, this game televised nationally tonight.
Yeah.
It's pretty exciting.
Ball one sits outside. That's pretty cool for the Cape League. First of all, I'm sure a guy like Ramage, who's played on ESPN, not a big deal to him. But maybe Hayden, who plays for a non-Power 5 school in Louisiana, that's a big deal. Fastball runs inside, 2-1.
You want to know something funny? When I was talking to one of the tech directors for Fox Sports, Damon Moritz is his name. He was talking about how this goes to their center base in Texas.
2-1 misses way upstairs.
And it's distributed nationally to whatever cable providers and packages carry Fox College Sports. Cape Cod dropped the package 2 years ago.
Oh, my goodness. The 3-1 is popped up in the air. That'll stay on the infield and in fair territory. Ranging over, camping under it, making the catch in fair ground is the third baseman Casey Schmidt. So a juicy 3-1 pitch that Cantrell pops up.
Pretty good at bat from Hayden Cantrell. He was first pitch swinging. It was actually a little bit ahead of the fastball. Roped it foul towards the Falmouth bullpen. And then getting a little bit wild was Ramage, so Cantrell had the green light on 3-1, just didn't get the swing and the connection that he wanted.
Blake Dunn is going to be the hitter now. Out of Western Michigan, takes a ball up and in, so Ramage having a tough time finding the strike zone just yet. Still has the one out against one batter. Dunn leads the team in walks, also leads the team in strikeouts. Lines that one foul, so the count now even at 1-1. Blake was first-team All-MAC in 2019, led his team in just about every offensive category that matters. He also ended in the top 10 in 6 statistical categories in the MAC as he lines a fastball up and over the leaping second baseman Nick Gonzalez, and Blake Dunn is on first base with another hit. Boy, he is just red hot when his parents are in town. I mean, this is insane.
Absolutely, Danny, and he gets a single in his first at-bat tonight. Kind of hard to believe. He was in the 2 spot last night, and Falmouth had a great night offensively, 12 runs on 19 hits, but he was one of the few guys to go 0 for. He was actually 0 for 3 with a walk and a strikeout, but clearly shakes that off here on Wednesday night. Nice contact and really great chance for Nick Gonzalez. He timed the jump well, just couldn't quite get up and make the catch.
Speed on the base paths, and Ramage and the Kettleers know it. They quickly check on Blake Dunn. Falmouth, as a team, lead the league in stolen bases and probably attempts because pretty much whenever they've got a guy on first, he's going. And Dunn is a prime candidate. A handful of stolen bases already, taking a big lead. Another check over to first base.
Well, we saw it last night, Danny. 6 stolen bases against Brewster. And that was partially because they were picking on the catcher, Justin Vogt. But this is their MO. This is what they do.
Zach DeLoach is at the plate, and he is just so good lately. 6 straight at-bats with hits as he watches a fastball paint the outside corner. Now is a 4-game hitting streak, 7 for his last 10.
3 for 3 last night as well.
Yeah, he's back-to-back games where he's 3 for 3, so he just gets on base like it's nobody's business. Another throw over, and Dunn diving back in safely yet again. Also, keep in mind that the catcher behind the plate, Cody Pasek, plays for Maine, and nothing against Maine, but it's not like you've got a Maverick Hanley behind home where you can trust your catcher, especially with Dunn's speed. The 0-1 just misses outside. Ramage shaking off the dirt from his cleats as he comes back. Towing the first base side of the rubber is the big righty from the University of Arkansas. Again, coming off of a year with just under a 5 ERA. The pitch, ground ball foul, 1-2 against Zach, as everything has been outside.
Yeah, he's just trying to settle in because, as we mentioned, first outing of the summer after a long postseason for the Razorbacks. and a trip to Omaha from South Lake, Texas, so coming up to the Northeast for the summer. His longest outing this year was 5 innings of work and had 5 Ks against Northwestern on April 23rd.
1-2 is a curveball with some sharp break, but Deloach just able to make contact. That's how you know that you're hot, is when Ramage throws that curveball and you still manage to fight it off. That thing was about belt high and plummeted to his knees at the last second. Still at the dish, 1-2, 1 out, runner on first, no score. Ramage is going to check on Dunn yet again.
Something I've noticed about Zach Deloach, very calm guy.
Yeah.
Very even keel. Doesn't get too frustrated, doesn't get too over the moon. Always seems to have that same expression on his face.
It's very quiet, too. We'll get to that in a second. Here's the pitch. Down low, ball 2. 2-2. So the reason I say he's very quiet is when we were at Fenway, I was standing right up against the netting in like the front section behind the dugout, talking to a couple of our other interns. I think I was talking to Katie, talking to Tony, and we were discussing what are the scouts looking for, because I was thinking it's just batting practice. Deloach is standing there as Dunn runs, swing and a miss from Deloach, no throw from the catcher, so Dunn is going to take second base with ease, but Deloach goes down a swinging strikeout victim. For the first time, he is walking back to the dugout without a hit in his last 6 at-bats. 2 outs. I'll finish my story really quickly. All of a sudden, Zach Deloach just starts telling us what they're looking for and talking all these, really inside baseball stuff, and I didn't notice him the entire time. I didn't notice him until he started talking. I was like, oh, Deloach is right there. He is now going back to the dugout. 2 outs and a runner on second. That's done. And Troy Claunch, the cleanup man, is at the dish.
Yeah, we saw a catcher last night batting cleanup for Falmouth in Taylor Smith. He had a grand slam.
Real close pickoff move. Dunn decided not to slide back into second base, and Ramage nearly got him.
Close play from Dunn, but I'm interested to see how Claunch does stepping in for Smith, who clearly has shown that he has some power with those 4 RBIs last night. Claunch batting just 188 this summer so far.
First pitch to Troy is a breaking ball on the inside corner. Claunch, catcher from Oregon State, did a good amount of DHing this past spring because Adley Rutschman was in front of him. Rutschman, the number 1 overall pick from 2019. So Troy now getting a lot more chances in the summer. Still not catching a lot, though, as another look back towards second, because with all these rotations in the lineup, 3 catchers on the lineup, or on the roster, excuse me, and no first baseman, Troy has to go play first base. Looking for an RBI with 2 outs as he watches that breaking ball just a tad high.
Some insight from our web reporter, Maxwell Trink. Troy Claunch has been trying to work on his approach at the plate. He's been working especially with Ryan Eiley. Eiley and Brett Becker, 2 of the coaches that really specialize in hitting, as Mike Landry's the pitching coach.
Spike ball in the dirt just in front of home plate. Good block, however, behind the dish, so that will keep Dunn at bay.
Just trying to be a little bit more patient. He's worked a lot of really good counts, getting his hips squared and getting his hands to the ball quickly.
He was 0 for in the first couple games of the season, then went on a 3 for 7 stretch. Right now is on an 0 for 5 stretch. So looking for some consistency. The 2-1 from Ramage. Fastball paints the knees in the outside black. That's a beautiful pitch.
Yeah, that's a nice fastball from Ramage. Tough to hit at the knees. Even if he makes contact there, he's probably dribbling that on the infield.
Troy with the bat over his back shoulder, batting from the right side against the righty Ramage, who's going to step off. Claunch from Vacaville, California, was the number 4 catcher in California out of high school. Here's the 2-2. Fly ball into right field. That one is tailing into foul ground. Will it fall? Yes, it will, and just foul. Wow, some weird backspin on the fly ball, and it made a very interesting play as diving in was the right fielder Iraj Anu to try to make a diving catch, but he didn't have to because it fell just a couple feet to the right of the line.
Yeah, so that thing was just tailing, right? It just, as soon as it was off the bat, it was kind of hit like it was going to go into right center field, but the spin on the ball and maybe the wind a little bit as well, as the flag is sort of drooping out in right field, so it's not too windy here. But it was tailing to the right and ended up landing just a few inches, maybe a foot foul.
Saves Claunch from being retired, and he's got another chance to swing away. Time is now called from the Cotuit dugout. That's by head coach Roberts to shade over his center fielder a little bit. Claunch now steps back in, taps the home plate with the end of his bat. Ramage from the stretch with the glove at his belt, looks back done yet again.
Yeah, it's interesting you notice Coach Mike Roberts, Danny, because he's in his 15th season, and I think that he and Jeff Trundy, both been on the Cape 15-plus years now, they have opposite coaching styles.
Another move back towards second base.
Jeff Trundy, very even keel, doesn't move a lot, doesn't put up many arguments with umpires or get too animated at all. He's very hands-off, right? He trusts his guys. He talks to them before and after the game. Mike Roberts makes all kinds of adjustments.
2-2 is high, and it's dropped by the catcher as Dunn is going to get over towards third base. That's going to be a pass ball charged against Cody Pasek because it just ricocheted right off of his glove, and he squeezed it, it looks like, a little too early.
Yeah, just a mental mistake from Pasek, as Brett Becker puts his arm around the shoulder of Blake Dunn at third. Now just 90 feet away from taking a 1-0 lead.
They've got pretty much one chance to do it on a 3-2 count with 2 outs. Here's the payoff pitch. Ground, nope, not fouled away as Claunch swung right through it. It ricocheted off the dirt and off the chest of Pasek. He throws down to first and gets Troy in time for out number 3. I thought it was going to be called a foul ball, but instead Claunch is a strikeout victim, the second of the night for Ramage. We will head to the top of inning number 2, 0-0 the score between the Doors and the Cavaliers on the Falmouth Commodores Baseball Network.
Baseball Factory, which has proudly supported the Cape League for 20-plus seasons, conducts baseball trainings, tournaments, and showcases at over 1,000 events nationwide, providing players with world-class instruction and help with college recruiting. The Baseball Factory program leads to future success both on and off the field for players in both middle school and high school. It's never too early to start. Learn more at baseballfactory.com.
Cape Cod Coca-Cola thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. We offer over 400 different beverage choices on Cape Cod to quench every thirst, and more than 150 are low or no-calorie options.
Learning at Curry College extends beyond the classroom and is embedded in all they do. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers and active citizenship with a global perspective. Explore undergraduate majors, minors, and concentrations, including new majors in accounting, biochemistry, and software development. Online at www.curry.edu.
Top second we go from Go Fuller Field. Daniel LaRose and David Korzenowski on the call for you on the Falmouth Commodores Baseball Network. Nick Nastrini back out on the bump after a perfect first inning. He'll face 4, 5, and 6 in the Cotuit lineup. Joey Loperfido, Aubrey Major, Iraj Anu, 2 fantastic names. First pitch swinging is Loperfido. He sends it out to deep right center field. Dunn is back. He's at the wall. That ball's out of here. 1 pitch and 1 run in the second inning. It's a ding-dong from Joey Loperfido, a solo shot to make it 1-0 Cotuit.
Well, there we go.
Didn't you say something about limiting that?
I did mention that. Joey Loperfido from Duke University gets his first home run of the summer. He's now the 10th Cavalier to go yard.
Wow.
And Cotuit adds to their Cape leading total in long bombs now at 19. That was a no-doubter off the bat.
First pitch fastball paints the outside corner to Aubrey Major, the designated hitter.
Loperfido, still limited at bats, was just 4 for his first 16 with a double. Batting cleanup tonight, though.
Fly ball into left field. Maisel is there. He will make the grab for the first out of the inning. That's a ridiculous stat that you brought up right away of how they have 10 separate hitters who have home runs.
Yeah.
Falmouth has 3. Taylor Smith has 2. Cantrell has 3. And Trey Cruz has 1.
Yeah.
So in total, they have less home runs than, Cotuit has, like, spread out, if you know what I mean.
Well, how about this, too, Danny? Cotuit, as a swing and a miss from Oraj Anu. Cotuit has 4 guys, okay? That's 1 more than Falmouth has total, right? They have 4 guys who have hit 3 home runs. In Casey Schmidt, Adam Oviedo, Nick Gonzalez, and this guy, Oraj Anu.
0-1, tapped softly back to Nastrini. He gets off the mound quickly, nearly stumbles a couple of times, but makes an athletic play to rob the ball from going any further, and it's a 1-3 putout. 2 quick outs after the home run.
Yeah, they're swinging early. I think that there was probably an adjustment that Coach Mike Roberts made, maybe some of the assistant coaches as well, because what did Nick Nastrini do in the first inning? He got ahead in counts quickly.
Yeah.
He was up 0-1, 0-2, and then he could do what he wanted with that 2-strike pitch. Caused for a 1-2-3 inning, but here, just trying to make contact early and put the pressure back on the righty from UCLA.
Here comes Donta Williams, who's batting from the left side. Breaking ball paints the outside corner, strike 1. Williams playing center field. He's an outfielder at the University of Arizona. We've seen a lot of Arizona State Sun Devils, not too many Wildcats just yet, but Williams is one of those Wildcats from just down south in southern Arizona in Tucson. 5'10", 170, junior originally from Las Vegas. The 0-1 breaking ball just at the knees, maybe a little bit low, but a good frame job by Matt Nelson.
Williams also swinging a hot bat, 4 for his last 9 to move his average up to just 192. But if he keeps making contact the way he has been, that average will keep climbing.
The 0-2 from Nastrini. Fastball that he has to skip away from. 1-2 goes the count. Yeah, I had on my sheet that Williams before that was 3 for his last 17, but he only had 3 strikeouts over that stretch, which tells you that he's putting the ball in play a lot, but he's just not getting much luck to go his way. Maybe some softly hit balls, but I'm sure there were some that he could have said, hey, if I hit it 5 feet to the left, I would have had a base hit rather than a ground out. Williams comes back into the box. Big wide stride despite his 5'10" frame. The 1-2. Breaking ball swung on and missed. It's blocked in the dirt by Nelson. He tags Williams before he can even break out of the box, and that will do it on the inning. A strikeout ends the second inning, but a home run begins it as Cotuit scores 1 run on the 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left on base. We head to the home second. It's Cotuit 1, Falmouth 0.
Did you know that Baseball Factory has partnered with the Cape League for the past 20-plus seasons? Baseball Factory is your resource for elite baseball training and college recruiting assistance. They build more varsity starters, all-state athletes, and college and professional ball players than anyone else in the country. With over 1,000 events nationwide for players in middle school and high school and over 100,000 college success stories, you too can build your way to greatness with Baseball Factory. Visit baseballfactory.com to learn more.
Cape Cod Coca-Cola thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. Please remember to recycle your empty bottles, cans, and all other recyclable materials. It takes only 6 recycled plastic bottles to make a new baseball cap.
Learning at Curry College extends beyond the classroom and is embedded in all they do. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers and active citizenship with a global perspective. Explore undergraduate majors, minors, and concentrations, including new majors in accounting, biochemistry, and software development. Online at www.curry.edu.
Trey Cruz set to lead things off for the Doors in the second inning. This is a jam-packed Gov Fuller Field for the second night in a row. Left field bleachers all filled up. Right field bleachers behind the dugout pretty much full. Even farther down by the bullpen, it's looking pretty full as well. Fly ball into left field will start us off. It's shallow, and the catch will be made by the shortstop, Adam Oviedo, who is going back and grabbing it, calling off his left fielder Chavers. So 1 pitch and 1 out.
Trey Cruz also trying to swing early. Hayden Cantrell did that his first time up, but fouled off the first pitch that he saw. Cruz broke out of a big slump last night. Had 2 big hits and a couple of RBIs as well.
Here comes the new guy, Matt Nelson. First pitch, he sees a breaking ball over the outside part of the plate, 0-1. Nelson, a catcher from Florida State University, originally from Houston, Mississippi. Draft pick of the Philadelphia Phillies in the 39th round in 2018. Swings at this pitch and fouls it away quickly behind 0-2. Nelson is going to be an important cog in the machine, I believe, both defensively and offensively for the Doors, because he can give some guys at first base some chances because he can go behind home plate rather than throwing in guys who don't typically play first. 0-2, line drive into right field. This one is falling, but not quick enough, as ranging over and making the grab is Iraj Anu on the run. Just stayed up a little bit too long. Nelson gets good wood in his first AB, comes up hitless.
Hey, well, if we hadn't told you that it was his debut, he could have fooled you there. Hard contact, and sometimes it takes these guys a little bit to warm up to the wooden bats and to get going, but he was a righty, and then he just put that into the opposite field. That shows veteran hitting ability as well, not trying to do too much with it, take it back where it came from.
First pitch to Austin Maisel, way outside. The reason I think he's going to be important offensively, 6 home runs this past year. Boy, do the Doors need some help when it comes to power. But Matt Nelson goes down on only 3 pitches after lining out, and Austin Maisel grounds that pitch foul. 1-1 is the count.
I know I'm probably getting ahead of myself with the Austin Maisel praise, but if he keeps it up this summer and he sticks around, and granted that average is not going to stay at 474 where it's at, but if he puts up quality at bats, he could get drafted next year.
Yeah.
In the 30s.
Fastball misses just outside. 2-1. Don't sell Austin Maisel short. I think he can hit 500.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll let him know. We'll see what he thinks. 9 for his first 19 this summer.
2-1, he pops up foul. I said to him after the game, they signed autographs for the kids yesterday. That was always cool to see, and everybody was getting in on it. But Austin, I told him that he's leading the team in batting average, and he goes, I said he's leading the Cape in batting average. He goes, really? Here's the 2-2 skips in the dirt. 3-2 goes the count. And I'm like, yeah, really, you're at plus 400. Who else is plus 400 on the Cape? He goes, do I have like enough at bats to qualify? I was like, I think you need 25.
So it's even more than that now.
Oh boy.
By the Cape League minimum, you have to have. We'll wait for the pitch.
It's a fly ball into right field. This one is shallow. Anu gets over, and he makes the grab out in right field. Iraj Anu has been busy so far through 2 innings.
I'll finish that up, though. But to be in the Cape League conversation for highest batting average, you have to have a minimum of 2.7 at-bats per game played by the team. So not just games that you've played. So you have to be a consistent starter with about 3 at-bats a game.
Well, Maisel with 1 at-bat in this game has flown out. He falls to 0 for 1 as the Doors go down in order in the second. To the top of the third we go. Still 1-0 Cotuit on the Falmouth Commodores Baseball Network.
The Falmouth Commodores would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves.
Red Shirt Fridays is a national program created to acknowledge, honor, and support our troops who put themselves in harm's way to defend our freedom. In support of this program, the Cape League teams will be wearing a specially designed red jersey every Friday. Support our troops and join us by wearing red each Friday.
The Colossal Lobster Rolls are back at the 99 restaurants. Visit today in Centerville, Falmouth, Mashpee, Wareham, or Yarmouth for the best value for lobster rolls on the Cape. The 99, proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
We begin the top of the third at Gov Fuller Field with the Kettleers still leading 3 to 0. 1 to 0. We're in the third. It's 1 to 0 Cotuit. Danny LaRose and David Korzenowski on the call. Adam Oviedo will lead things off. 8-9-1 for Cotuit. Nick Nastrini on the hill has let up 1 hit. It was a long ball to Joey Loperfido, the cleanup hitter, and that is the only thing really breaking up this game so far. Otherwise, it is all businesslike.
Well, I've forgotten what a low-scoring game feels like. Because last night we had a 3-1 score in favor of Brewster after the first inning. This game ended in a 12-7 Falmouth win. 19 hits for Falmouth, 14 for Brewster.
First pitch thrown to Oviedo is a breaking ball just below the knees. Ball 1 to the shortstop. Oviedo from TCU, originally from Grandview, Texas, rising junior with the Horned Frogs. Batting from the right side. Here's the 0-1 off the plate. He was a Cotuit Kettleer a year ago. Played shortstop in their 2018 season that saw them finish in 4th place and bounced in the opening round of the playoffs to the eventual champion Wareham Gatemen. 2-0. Flown out into left field. Maisel gives chase. He's near the line, now into foul ground. Loses the hat as always, but it will go foul. Austin Maisel loses his hat constantly.
All the time.
Being in Miami, you know, keep tabs on Florida State being the rival and whatnot, and being in the ACC. There's the left fielder for Florida State, Elijah Cabell, really long, flowing down to his shoulders, curly black hair, loses his hat on just about every single fly ball hit to him. 2-1 swung on and missed. And there's actually a Twitter account because those Florida State fans are diehards for any sport. It could be water polo, and there's a Twitter account for their left fielder called Elijah Cabell's hat, and he talks about how he's always getting lost. And I feel like Austin Maisel could get the same love.
Yeah, I agree.
He loses.
I'll make it tonight.
2-2 is just below the knees, full count.
Going back to Oviedo, though, last summer in Cotuit had a 197 average, played in 28 games. Remember, 44-game regular season here on the Cape, so in over half of those, and he played in both games of the playoffs as well.
The 3-2 from Nastrini is chopped towards the left side. Moretto gets there, fields it on a tough backhand, but it was in foul territory, luckily for Falmouth, because that would have been a sure infield hit.
Yeah, if that stayed fair, that would have been probably the first play that Steven Moretto could not have made over at third, because he was well past Mike Roberts, the third base coach.
Oviedo hit .291 in the spring, 3 home runs, 33 RBIs with TCU. Payoff pitch. Sits low, ball 4, and that is the first walk allowed by Nick Nastrini to Adam Oviedo. So he'll take first base as Cody Pasek, the 9-hitter, will come up to the plate with nobody out.
Oviedo's done a really good job working walks this year, now his 7th of the summer. That trails only Hill and Gonzalez, his teammates with the Kettleers. Puts him on first with some speed as well. He has a stolen base this year and has yet to be caught.
First pitch and showing bunt is Cody Pasek. He pulls it back as the fastball goes way high.
Yeah, nice snag by Nelson. Nelson, not a really tall guy at the catcher spot. But if that got past him, would have put a runner in scoring position with nobody out.
Pasek, a catcher himself, batting from the left side. Shows bunt, pulls it back. Another ball taken outside. Nastrini shaking off his pitching hand right now, just trying to search for the strike zone. So now they're going to brush off home plate. Cody Pasek, a Cotuit native. How cool is that to be from Cotuit, Massachusetts, plays his baseball with the University of Maine, and is able to play for the hometown Kettleers. He says that he went to a ton of Kettleers games as a kid, and there's a very specific reason why. 2-0, bunt up in the air. This one's going to fall right into the awaiting glove of Nick Nastrini. He gets over to the first base line in a hurry, and it's a pop out after the bunt attempt is failed.
I like what I'm seeing from Nick Nastrini, and it's more than just what he's doing on the mound. It's the way he's just busting his butt to get to those balls off the mound. He had one play where he had to move over and field a ground ball from Iraj Anu, and he nearly stumbled when he came off the mound. You hear from pitchers sometimes they're not supposed to do too much defensively, trust their infielders around them, but the fact that he's running and hustling and getting to those balls as quick as he can shows that he's competitive, that he wants to be here.
First pitch fastball is fouled away towards the right side by Nick Gonzalez. He grounded out to third base back in the first inning to lead off the game. Now with one out and a runner on first in a 1-0 Cotuit lead. Nastrini from the stretch has not had to pitch from there at all just so far this game. Pickoff move, and Claunch slaps the tag a little too late. Gonzalez batting .377 coming into tonight. That's dipped just after the first AB. But that's just ridiculous for a guy who's been playing every single day since opening day. 0-1, fouled again towards the right side. Nastrini's got him 0-2.
Yeah, especially with over 50 at-bats,
Yeah.
right? And you're still putting up a near 400 batting average. It's been absolutely outstanding.
Has 3 home runs and 15 RBIs.
How about this, Danny? He had back-to-back 4-for-5 games. It was just a few days ago against Wareham, 29th and 30th of June.
Down 0-2 to Nastrini right here. The pitch skips in the dirt. Great block by Nelson, 1-2. I also want to comment that his 7-game hitting streak was broken on July 1st, and he didn't miss a step in that time because the very next day he goes 3-for-5 with 2 runs. That was yesterday. So he's like, all right, my 7-game hit streak was broken. I'll just be better.
Right. And it was weird that that hit streak was broken against Hyannis. Cotuit also having trouble with the Harbor Hawks. They barely won that game on July 1st by a score of 9-8.
1-2. Fastball fouled away. That one's going out of play yet again. Hyannis, just like last year, has a tough time pitching. Their pitching is near the bottom, if not at the very basement of the entire Cape League. But their hitting has always been pretty good. In 2018, their hitting was solid. They had a lot of top prospects at the plate. Todd Lott comes to mind from Baylor.
Matt Barefoot, how about that?
Matt
Cape
Barefoot,
League MVP.
Yeah, Cape League MVP. And then their pitching kind of failed them. Same thing this year. 1-2, fouled away yet again. So at the very least, even if Gonzalez goes down, he's really making Nastrini battle.
But going back to that game against Hyannis, Danny, that was when Hyannis mounted a large comeback late. They tied the game 8-8.
Oh, yeah.
And then Cotuit scored the winning run in the bottom of the 8th inning out at Lowell Park.
So they scored the 5 to tie it in the top of the
Right.
8th. I'm sure Hyannis is get all their mojo back. And then all Cotuit did was just put 1 run across in the very next half inning, and they took all the momentum right back from under their feet. That's the Cotuit team. They are pesky. They win a lot as well, leading the Western Division. The 1-2 comes home for the 3rd straight time, and this time it's a breaking ball on the inside corner. Strike 3 called. Nick Nastrini drops the hammer, and Gonzalez is down for the 2nd time tonight.
He knew that was a K as soon as it hit the mitt of Matt Nelson. Immediately started walking back to the dugout. Didn't even wait for the call from the home plate umpire, Jim Fonseca.
So how about that? Nick Nastrini is setting down the leadoff man who's batting .370+ in a red-hot Cotuit lineup. He set him down 2 times, and so far it's been no contest. Casey Schmidt, who struck out swinging his first time up, steps up to the plate as he checks his swing and nubs it foul.
Schmidt, a two-way player for Cotuit. He's made 4 appearances on the mound this summer. He's also 3 for his last 7 at the plate. He had a home run and 3 RBIs against the Harbor Hawks.
Kettleers just from, all around their roster, they have such good players, so much talent. 0-1 popped up foul. It was the same way last year. I mean, Tolia comes to mind, Michael Tolia from UCLA.
Yep.
He was a first-round pick. He was a mainstay in their lineup. They had, I can't even remember his name, from Coastal Carolina, their Zach Bierman from Coastal Carolina. He won a national championship. He got drafted. They had so much talent, but just couldn't quite seem to string enough wins together in a red-hot Western Division. But this year they've got, again, a great roster, and they're winning a lot more. Check over on first base. That's a close play. Claunch getting the tag down really quickly, and they nearly had a pickoff to end the inning. But safe is the call, and we'll keep the count at 0-2 with Schmidt at the plate.
Danny, you mentioned Michael Tolia, the only Kettler drafted on day 1 of the 2019 MLB draft, pick 23 to the Rockies.
0-2, fastball high, back check over towards first base, and caught in a rundown is Oviedo. As they go to second, Kendall now to first. Troy Claunch catches it, is waiting there, and Oviedo is a dead duck running right back into the first baseman's mitt. How about that from Matt Nelson? Welcome to the Cape with a back check over to first base. That is a 2-3, 6-3 putout to end the inning with Schmidt at home plate. That will do it for the third. We head to the home half of the third as Falmouth allows no runs on no hits, commit no errors, and they get the only runner left on base. We go to the bottom of the third. It's 1-0 Cotuit.
Urgent care is now available at 4 Cape Cod Healthcare locations: Hyannis, Falmouth, Sandwich, and Harwich. Open after hours and weekends. Staffed by ER physicians. Expert care when you need it. Learn more at capecodhealth.org/urgentcare.
Cape Cod Coca-Cola thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. We offer over 400 different beverage choices on Cape Cod to quench every thirst, and more than 150 are low or no-calorie options.
The 99 Restaurants has 9 real-size entrees for only $9.99. They're big, hearty portions you can count on all day, every day. Like the new short rib tacos or New England fried shrimp. The 99 Restaurants, proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
For sales and rentals of Caterpillar machinery, generators, and marine engines, visit MiltonCat.com, your area cat dealer. Milton Cat, the Cape and Islands Caterpillar dealer, is proud to be a sponsor of today's game.
So let's begin the bottom of the third inning. David, that's so funny. Every time. It's the same part of it. Caterpillar.
Caterpillar dealer. Caterpillar dealer. Caterpillar dealer. Milton Cat, the Cape and Islands Caterpillar dealer, is proud to be a sponsor of today's game.
If you've been watching our streams,
Foolish.
you know that David has a tough time reading that line.
I'm going to make you do it from now on. I'm going to put Tony on the headset just to read that every game.
Anyway, bottom of the third starting. Steven Moretto will lead things off, the right-handed bat from Sacramento State. First pitch he sees from the righty from Arkansas is taken on the inside corner for strike 1. Moretto, the third baseman, at the 8 hole, followed by Kevin Kendall in the 9 hole. Then we're back to the top of the order, due up this inning. As that's a slow breaking ball skipped in front of the plate. Moretto goes after it as he's quickly down 0-2 after that pitch.
Moretto batting 184 on the summer. He had an RBI last night. Who didn't, honestly?
0-2, breaking ball off the plate. This time, Steven's able to lay off. He really needed that RBI, too, because he had no RBIs since June 15th.
Yeah.
Then got his first one yesterday.
I was going to look at the exact date. I'm glad you pulled it up because I know that he had the RBI on June 15th against Hyannis in that 9-9 tie. He had one against Chatham and then a couple on the first win against Harwich.
Fastball sits way high.
So he had 4 RBIs in the first 3 games.
Right.
And then he was kind of held off the base paths. I mean, he makes hard contact and he puts the ball in play, but just not getting them for hits.
Puts this one in play, but it's a slow chopper towards third base. Easy throw onto first, and his counterpart at third base, Casey Schmidt, throws him out for the first out of the third.
Only 1 hit for the Commodores, and it came a while back with 1 out in the first inning. And now Ramage has settled down the last 6 batters he's faced.
Kevin Kendall will try to break that trend. Shortstop from UCLA. Very open stance from the lefty. Swings the first pitch. That one's a chopper to the other corner. Caught by the first baseman on a backhand, underhand flip. 3-1 on the putout. Loperfido over to the pitcher, Ramage. So Hayden Cantrell will come up to the plate with nobody on and 2 outs after a couple of ground outs. Cantrell was a pop-out victim his first time up. Hayden, who was leading the team and the Cape in batting average just at the start of the week, has run into a bit of a rough patch as he swings through the first pitch way down in the dirt. He did bounce back pretty well last night, as he went 2 for 4 with 3 runs scored. 0-1, again in the dirt, skips up.
Ramage has been impressive, Danny. He was a little bit wild in that first AB to Cantrell in the first, but ever since he's been locked down.
The 1-1 to Hayden, ground ball towards the right side, and that is right through the hole between second base and first base. Hayden is on with a ground ball base hit, and Blake Dunn will come up to the plate with a 2-out chance.
Hayden Cantrell, 1 for 2. Continues to keep that average up. He was hitting as high as 378 this year. That's when he got Cape Cod Coca-Cola Player of the Week in week number 2. Was 2 for 4 last night. Really should have been 3 for 4. Had such a hard hit ball to deep right field. But a great play by Tyler Gentry of the Brewster Whitecaps.
Check over on first and nothing doing. Dunn 1 for 1 so far. A single, then advanced to second on a stolen base, ended up getting stranded on third in the first. First pitch, he shows bunt as he fouls it away. Very strange. Blake Dunn showing bunt with 2 outs and a runner on first in only the 3rd inning. Is trying to get on with a drag bunt.
Blake Dunn, a guy who's putting in a lot of extra work. I love to see that from the Commodores and from these players here on the Cape. Who's showing up early? Who's getting into the batting cage? And he was here at noon today, hitting balls off of a tee by himself.
That's hard. Sticks around from field crew at 11. Stays to practice as he watches a ball skip off the plate. He had run into trouble. He was 0 for his last 7 before that first at-bat today. Had 4 strikeouts during that time. Only the 1 walk. That's important because he does lead the team in walks. So if he's not walking, then something's not right. Check over to first base. Again, Cantrell dives back in time. He, like Moretto, also had his first RBI in quite some time. Went 5 straight games without one, and then yesterday came through with a ground out that scored a run. Cantrell with a big lead. He's not going. The pitch, ground ball up the middle, but that is at the shortstop and flipped over to second. Oviedo on the putout. So 6-4 fielder's choice to retire to the side in the 3rd as we will head to the top of the 4th inning. My partner will be, or excuse me, pardon me, that's in the next half inning. Soon. We'll get to that.
We're getting Katie Florio.
Yeah, we're getting to Katie Florio in just a second when we come back.
The 99 Restaurants has 9 real-size entrees for only $9.99. They're big, hearty portions you can count on all day, every day. Like the new short rib tacos or New England fried shrimp. The 99 Restaurants, proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Cape Cod Coca-Cola thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. We offer over 400 different beverage choices on Cape Cod to quench every thirst, and more than 150 are low or no-calorie options.
As promised, we are bringing in the 3rd member of our broadcast team, Katie Florio. Katie, what do you got for us?
Thanks, Danny. And I was talking with Kevin Fitzgerald before the game, who is a Commodores board member. His son is the vice president of media for the Red Sox. So that is how Falmouth got the opportunity to host the World Series trophy tonight. And it's such a unique experience because here we are in the Cape Cod League, an hour away from Boston, the reigning World Series champs. And some guys on this field will be in the majors one day. So he told me that it kind of represents the opportunities that lie ahead for these players. But it's also a great atmosphere. We have a full house tonight, and kids have been lined up all night long to take a picture with the trophy. And Kevin is just so happy that Falmouth has had the opportunity to put on events like this.
Thank you, Katie. Definitely a cool event that we haven't really been talking a lot too much about tonight is that the World Series trophy is here. Falmouth, the only team on the Cape to bring the World Series trophy to their home ballpark, thanks to Kevin Fitzgerald.
And you know what that means, right?
What's that mean? As first pitch swinging is Parker Chavers, pops it up towards the left side. Kevin Kendall gets underneath it, calls off Moretto and makes the grab and pop out to the shortstop.
The Boston Red Sox said that we're going to give one champions.
Oh, okay.
So Kevin Fitzgerald said, oh, okay, we'll take it. Thanks.
Still a long way to go before that. Falmouth only with 14 games under their belts. Everybody else with like 17.
Lock it in.
So 1 up and 1 down on 1 pitch. Joey Loperfido is going to be the hitter. First pitch he sees, he does not swing at like his last at-bat when he deposited over the wall. Instead, he takes a curveball for a strike, 0-1. Do want to talk more about what Katie said. Here's an 0-1 with Nastrini working quickly. Check swing. Did he go? No, he did not. 1-1. It was really cool how she said, a lot of these guys going to the majors one day get to see the trophy right here. A couple of national champions, so they've gotten their own trophy, their own rings. Troy Clonch for Oregon State. This ball is low 2-1. Austin Langworthy from Florida in 2017. He's got a ring. They haven't quite won the World Series trophy yet, but they all got to take a group team picture behind it, and that's got to be cool to see. Hey, maybe, half a decade to a decade from now, I can touch that thing. 3-1 goes the count.
Yeah, no question, Danny. And these guys, they're playing to win, right?
Yeah.
At school, on the Cape.
3-1, hard shot into right field. Coming on in and making a running catch is Zach Deloach.
Commodores and the Kettleers both playing like they want to win tonight. This has been a great game and really a pitcher's duel, Danny. Nastrini has also settled in since allowing the one hit that he has given up in the second inning to Loperfido, and he's retired 8 of the last 9 at the plate.
And I think when you're looking at UCLA versus Arkansas, 2 of the top, 10 teams in the country all summer long for the pitching matchup, as a fastball is spiked in the dirt to Aubrey Major, ball 1. I think immediately you see that and you think, yeah, there's a potential for a pretty good pitching duel.
Oh, yeah.
Seeing how those 2 teams were at the top of the college baseball world for a lot of the 2019 season. 1-0, and it's check swing foul. Do I have this wrong? Is this Loperfido at the plate right now?
No. This is Major.
This is Major. Major standing on deck right there. Yeah. It's Loperfido at the plate as he swings and misses. That's why. Schmidt did not commit the last out.
We both screwed that up.
I was starting to think that Cotuit had batted out of order, which would mean an automatic out. But it was a back pick from Matt Nelson that ended the 3rd inning, so our mistake. Casey Schmidt made the first out of the inning. This is Loperfido making the 3rd out of the inning on a slow ground ball to Hayden Cantrell. So after our mistake, Nastrini makes none. He goes and sets down the Kettleers 1-2-3. As we head to the bottom of the 4th inning, my partner will be stepping aside. He'll be getting his big moment in the spotlight with Fox Sports. David, have fun. We'll be right back.
Curry College offers 14 NCAA Division III athletic teams in sports such as football, baseball, softball, basketball, hockey, soccer, lacrosse, tennis, cross country, and volleyball. Read about the success of the Curry Colonials and their championship teams. It's all online at www.curry.edu.
Redshirt Fridays is a national program created to acknowledge, honor, and support our troops who put themselves in harm's way to defend our freedom. In support of this program, the Cape League teams will be wearing a specially designed red jersey every Friday. Support our troops and join us by wearing red each Friday.
The Colossal Lobster Rolls are back at the 99 restaurants. Visit today in Centerville, Falmouth, Mashpee, Wareham, or Yarmouth for the best value for lobster rolls on the Cape. The 99, proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Welcome back to Gov Fuller Field as we begin the bottom of the 4th. I am staying Danny LaRose, but my partner is changing. David Korzenowski getting his moment in the limelight with Fox Sports. He's going to call this half inning with Fox College Sports. So good luck, David. Meanwhile, Severin Lavenstein, our videographer, also does play-by-play over at Ithaca College, will be joining me. Severin, so glad to have you on and so glad to give you a chance before you get to take over my reins in just about a week.
Yeah, definite downgrade, so I apologize to our listeners.
No.
But very happy to be here. Happy to be in a different spot, not usually where I'm sitting or standing.
Severin, you were on the Closing the Door post-game show with me last night. And I want to bring this up is we got the heart of the order coming up right now in a 1-0 deficit. Zach Deloach, Troy Clonch, Trey Cruz, 3, 4, and 5. That was something we talked about yesterday on the post-game show, was how the heart of the order pretty much all season long was doing, really poorly, was struggling. They were pretty much starting off innings and going down. Last night that changed. Deloach was a major part of that, and right now the heart of the order with a chance to try to tie this ball game.
Yeah, these are some of the guys that we want to see big things from, some of the guys when they got here.
Cole Ramage's first pitch is bashed into right field, and Zach Deloach stays red hot. He lines that ground ball through the hole between second and first. One pitch and a runner on first to start the fourth.
I mean, he jumped all over that one just like you'd expect him to, but that's what I was trying to say is when these guys got here, you thought, okay, now we've got the Commodores. Now we've got the guys that we think are going to start producing, and they're doing just that. Deloach has been absolutely on fire, and I'm interested to see what Clonch will do with more time. Obviously, he's been splitting with Smith a little bit, but playing first base today, too, that's a little bit of a new thing.
Yeah, now a three-way split between the catchers as Nelson has finally arrived to the Cape. Taylor Smith getting the night off after his big day yesterday, hit a grand slam in that six-run fifth inning. His second home run of the season, the Doors' second grand slam of the season. And speaking of Troy Clonch, he's the hitter, 0 for 1 with a swinging strikeout. Righty-righty matchup as Ramage's curveball is fouled back by Troy. So Zach Deloach continues to be red hot. He came into tonight batting .414, was 6 for his last 6, then struck out. Now he's 7 for his last 8. That would make him.
That's got to be, yeah.
I mean, he didn't even lose a step after the strikeout. 0-1 just misses low.
I think he's seeing the ball really well. I think that's something that goes without saying, but you watch a lot of these guys, sometimes they'll pull their head out, even at this level, and Deloach is having no problem with that.
Clonch, who's been struggling a little bit. He's only got 3 hits on the summer. That's through 17 at-bats. The 1-1, up and in, ball 2. Severin, while you're here, we got to talk about it. We were just at Fenway about a week ago. You made some fantastic video packages. There's what we call a sizzle reel, which is basically, highlights, quick shots underlaid with music, and a great song choice shipping up to Boston.
Figure I had to with that one.
Pickoff move, nothing doing. For about a minute long, that one is real entertaining. And then you got more of a hard hitter, which it talks about, the day at hand. You get to interview a lot of guys, and some of the stuff in there was really cool. The guys really seem to have a good time. Check those out. They're on our YouTube channel at this point.
Yeah, they should be going up pretty soon. They're on our social media channels that I just finished up editing that other one.
Here's a line drive. That one into left center field, just up and over the outstretched leap of Adam Oviedo. Going first to third is Zach Deloach as he just comes in ahead of the throw. Now they're going to check on Clonch over at first as the third baseman Schmidt decided that Clonch went too far off the bag, tried to catch him lollygagging, but he jumped back in time. Runners now on the corners after back-to-back singles and still nobody out.
Nice job of going with it, finding that gap between third and short, and great hitting by Troy. That moves Deloach into scoring position only 90 feet away.
So now Deloach can tie the ball game with a ground ball to the middle infield or with a fly ball. But first, Mike Roberts is going to pull Ramage from the ball game. Maybe a little bit surprising seeing how Ramage had, less than 50 pitches thrown, and he up to this point was spectacular. I mean, had a 1-2-3 inning, had a couple other innings where he got around one base runner, but it is his first appearance on the Cape, so kind of makes sense why they would pull him just to try to, not over fatigue him early on.
Yeah, still zeros on the board for him in terms of runs, but, I've got to imagine my math's not great, but he's averaging about a hit per inning at this point, so I get it.
Makes sense as Ramage is now pulled, and Mike Roberts is still taking his time, talking things over with his entire infield, his catcher, and his brand new pitcher. They're going to bring in Bo Hofstra, another great name. This Cotuit team just has awesome names.
You can extend that to just the Cape League in general. You love to talk about it, Danny, but we've got some fantastic names. I imagine they're pretty tough to put up for graphics and visuals, but overall, I think the name sounds are fantastic.
Bo Hofstra will be the one who's sounding off as he is a lefty. Or pardon me, not Bo Hofstra. Got that one mistaken. He's number 48. And the pitcher coming in right now is number 46. So we got a little too excited for Bo Hofstra. Not him. Tough sometimes to read 6s versus 8s with some of these Cape League uniforms. But it is 46 Evan Justice left-handed pitcher from North Carolina State. He's a big, lanky guy, 6'4", only 190 pounds, rising junior, originally from Richmond, Virginia. And he's coming off of a sophomore year where he was pretty good. I mean, 4-0 in 29 appearances, 4.66 ERA with a North Carolina State team that had a fantastic year and made it to the postseason for the first time in a while.
Definitely a big guy like you were talking about. And I think you get a pass, too, with those numbers. You got pretty much similar color schemes going on here. I think you're fine.
So Justice is warming up. Deloach stands on third. Claunch stands on first. The hitter is Trey Cruz. And Severin, he ran into a little bit of a rough skid as of recently. We kept talking about it during the stretch, but he and Hayden Cantrell were just, 1 and 2 in the lineup, and they were having pretty much battles, hitting back and forth. And then he had no hits in his last 4 games played, was 0 for his last 15 heading into last night, was able to break out of that stretch when he went 3 for 4 with 2 RBIs. Right now he's 0 for 1, so it's kind of a chance for him to show some consistency right here and a big opportunity to put Falmouth on the board.
I think the thing with Trey is you always feel like he's kind of on the edge, right? He's got some good outs, if we can call them that, some loud outs, some good contact. And in this spot with first and third, I think some of that good contact is exactly what they need.
First pitch is going to have to wait as Blake Dunn is checked on over at first base. So we got interrupted by the hits, but you made a fantastic sizzle reel, as they call it in the industry. You made a fantastic package, as they call it in the industry, which is basically interviews, highlights, stuff like that of all the stuff that happened at Funway. So be sure to check that out. Here's a pop fly into left field. That one is falling quickly, and that's going to fall into no man's land. Into left field for a single. Trey Cruz strums the air guitar over at first base as he is rocking, and the Falmouth Commodores have tied the ball game on a Texas leaguer.
There you go. Hit it where they ain't. And that's the kind of thing we're talking about with Trey Cruz. I mean, it's sometimes just as simple as find where the defense isn't, and I know that's tough to do, but Trey doesn't have to be that guy who hits it out of the park. He has his teammate, like you said, Hayden, leading the team for that, but, that's what they need him to do, convert when they've got those guys in scoring position, and it's not a pretty hit, but it gets the job done.
So Oviedo from shortstop went out pretty far. Chavers came in from pretty far out in left field. It dropped just in between the two of them. No chance for either. Pickoff move over to second. Troy Claunch, a catcher playing first base, probably not going to steal third, but they're still going to make sure that he stays put.
Pretty interesting motion by this pitcher, don't you think?
Yeah, it's that lanky frame that he kind of just has to whip around, like he's in a wind tunnel to basically throw the ball. Comes home on a little stutter step move and misses low.
It's almost herky-jerky, a little stop-and-go action.
I was referring to his pickoff when I was saying that, how he kind of just whips around and flails. But so far he's thrown 2 pitches. One has been a bloop shot into left field. One has been a ball. 1-0 the count to Matt Nelson, the right-handed bat. Here's a ground ball towards third. This could be 2. Stepping on the bag is Schmidt. The throw on to first in time. A 5-3 double play. Advancing to second is Trey Cruz, but that really kills the rally.
Yeah, tough one there. Just didn't get enough on it. And in good position was the third baseman.
So in his Falmouth debut, Matt Nelson drops to 0 for 2. Before then, it was 3 straight singles, 2 of them hard line drives, one from Deloach, one from Claunch, and then Cruz's was kind of a gift. But the game is tied nonetheless, 1-1. Falmouth out hitting Cotuit 5-1. Cotuit's lone run coming off of a home run, as there's a ball thrown about 56 feet and blocked by Pasek behind the plate. Great job, because Cruz would have been easily at third on that.
Well, Danny, you want to talk about guys who are hot? Maybe none hotter than Maisel after last night. I believe getting on base in all but one of his at-bats.
Yeah, 4 for 5, had a run scored as well. He's 0 for 1 today with a fly out to right field. Lefty-lefty matchup. Couple looks back by Justice. Now he comes home with a fastball above the letters of Austin.
Seems to me a lot of times these guys choose to miss high. I know sometimes on the breaking pitches, obviously that'll go low, but just to my humble opinion, my eyesight, I see a lot of high misses.
And that's not really where you want to miss it, because if you miss high in the strike zone, 9 times out of 10 it's going to be a gapper. That one is a beautiful breaking ball swung on and missed by Maisel, stayed below the knees the entire time, and Austin went fishing. 2-1 the count to Maisel.
Interesting. Maisel uses a lighter bat than most of the other team. Says he's more for contact, not really going for that power hitting.
2-1 paints the inside corner. I think we can sometimes see that he's got a very skinny frame, so maybe also that. I mean, he doesn't have the beefy frame of a Troy Claunch. And also, he's not a home run hitter by any stretch. A lot of his hits yesterday, they were kind of like shots through the holes, like you said before, hitting it where guys weren't.
Well, when Katie talked to him, too, he was mentioning really getting to his two-strike approach, making sure he has fun out there, getting on base. I love the guys who know their role, and he's one of those guys.
Well, he's got to have a two-strike approach right now. 2 strikes against him and 2 balls. 2-2 with 2 outs, and number 2, Trey Cruz, standing on second. So 2's all around. The pitch from Justice. Just a hair inside. Great frame job by Pasek, but it's a ball.
Realistically, I don't know how you hit that one. If you do, your bat is probably going farther than the ball or what's left of it.
Yeah. That did not give Maisel a chance to extend his arms, so he said, why should I even try? Full count, 2 outs, runner on second. Red-hot Maisel leading the team in average at the plate. The payoff pitch. Breaking ball upstairs, ball 4. Austin Maisel flips the bat back towards the dugout. The on-deck man, Steven Moretto, jumps away from it as it nearly took out his feet. And there are runners on first and second and 2 outs for the Doors.
How about that at bat? What patience by Maisel, making sure he waited for his pitch, didn't end up seeing it, didn't have to, getting on base any way he can. That's such a good at bat.
Well, it was something that David mentioned at the start of the ball game was that Austin last year was jittery. He was, kind of antsy. He wanted to desperately get hits so that he could prove himself. This year, he said he just wants to enjoy it. And, that goes with the patience. It goes with the success at the plate. He's been definitely a different hitter. First pitch outside from Justice to Moretto, ball 1. Steven from Sacramento State. Rising junior, originally from British Columbia. Right-handed bat against the lefty Justice. Justice in the long frame throws one home, and it's lined foul.
I think something that's been worth noting is Steven's defense recently has been outstanding.
Recently, all summer long.
I was just going with some of the throws he was making last night, but
yeah.
Absolutely you can make the case for all summer long. I think his defense has been some of the best you can see on the Cape League. I don't think that's too far to say, at least from what I've seen over in the hot corner.
He's trying to do it with his bat right here, facing a 1-1 count and 2 ducks on the pond. The pitch just outside. Another good frame job by Pasek, but I got to give home plate umpire Jim Fonseca some credit. Those are outside pitches, and Pasek is not making it easy by making them look like strikes after the fact.
Tight zone from our angle, but he's keeping it consistent, which is a good thing.
2-1 now the count to Moretto. The pitch. Fastball inside, and it's a friendly hitter's count, 3 balls, 1 strike. Steven Moretto, who, as Severin mentioned, fantastic with his glove. If he commits an error, there's also a blue moon out that night. I call him Steven Arenado, maybe too much, but he deserves it.
Good comp.
The 3-1. Fly ball left side, well foul, but boy, did Steven give that one a drive. Maybe about another 30 feet to the right, and it's a home run.
That's a couple just over the left of the line. Maybe a little early on it.
Definitely a little bit early, and a lot of inside pitches, too. So just a matter of sitting back and evening things out for Moretto, who's taking his time getting back into the batter's box. 3-2 count, 1-1 ball game in the 4th, with runners on first and second and 2 outs. Justice from the stretch is going to wait as he looks back Cruz at second. Cruz is dancing over there, trying to get into his head. Kevin Kendall stands on deck if this inning can continue. The payoff pitch from Justice. Fastball fouled away. This is getting interesting. I mean, in the 4th inning, Moretto can put one into the outfield, and if he gets it to the wall, Maisel's got some speed. He's fleet of foot. He can score 2 runs, perhaps. It by no stretch would, end the game or anything like that, but given the way that the pitching has been so far and given the way Nastrini has been pitching, could really put Falmouth in a good spot.
The middle innings have been where some of these games have been decided more often than not, and I think you're absolutely right. Now's the time.
The 3-2 from Justice yet again. Another foul ball. How about that for Moretto? Back-to-back great at-bats from the 7-hitter and the 8-hitter. Maisel worked it full. He ended up walking. Now Steven Moretto has worked it full. He was ahead in the count 3-1, but with all these foul balls, he has really given Justice some trouble.
And just quickly, Danny, one of the things we talked about on Closing the Door last night was how consistent the top and the bottom of the order have been. Here we go, bottom of the order, making sure things are tough for Cotuit.
They went down easily their first time around, not so much this time. The payoff pitch. Inside, ball 4. Back-to-back walks administered by Evan Justice. And that will load up the bases for Kevin Kendall.
Such patience, especially after Moretto was on. A couple of them just needed to adjust the swing a little bit. Hung tough with that at bat. And then here you go. Kendall has been really amazing ever since he got here. And I'm excited to see what's going to happen in this at bat. One well-placed ball, and you might have 2 runs scoring.
Kendall could give his teammate from school, Nick Nastrini, a lead that he will be thankful for. Both of them Bruins. First pitch to Kendall, he swings at it and fouls it back. Grounded out to first his first time up. That came in the 3rd inning. As you mentioned, he was awesome. He had 1 hit in every single game he had played through the first 4 or 5. Then, the last 2 games, does not have a hit. He's 0 for his last 5. 0 for his last 6 with 3 strikeouts after his first at-bat today. Justice from the stretch still. Here's the 0-1. Bounces it, and Pasek with another great block. Boy, how about Cody Pasek? He has been keeping everything in front of him, making no mistakes defensively.
A lot of sliding to his left, and he's doing a good job keeping it right into the chest protector. I don't think you can do a better job than he's doing.
Don't sell those guys who play at main short.
Oh,
Sean Harrington.
Never do.
Sean Harrington from Babson was very sure behind the plate, and so is Cody Pasek, who plays for UMaine. 1-1 is fouled off the leg of Kendall, and the count now 1-2. He's gotten some good pitches to hit, just can't straighten it out.
Just quickly on Kendall, too, I've been a little surprised that he hasn't moved up a little bit in that order. But then again, you've got that production from the top. I think they like that he can get on base as well, maybe when they get back to that top. Either way, I think he's been such a good hitter and so consistent. You have to at least maybe give it a thought.
That's a comment Hayden Cantrell made, is the reason that Hayden himself was able to say, well, why I have so many RBIs is because the guys in front of me in the 8 and 9 holes are getting on base so often, which not many leadoff hitters at any stage of the game can say. Count 1-2 to Kendall right here. The pitch hits him on the leg. Kevin does not move away from it much, just kind of turned his back, and it hit him up on the upper right thigh. Trey Cruz will tap home plate with the go-ahead run, and the merry-go-round is in motion.
As they say at almost every level, we've got ice, and that's exactly what Kendall did at that point, and I think that was good situational awareness, too. He knows that you take that, you wear it for the team, and you got a run coming home.
He's also got an RBI to his ledger, so Kendall's not going to complain, because at the end of the day, you're going to look in the box score and say, Kevin Kendall had an RBI. Hayden Cantrell with a chance to add to his team lead in ribbies, batting from the right side for the first time tonight. A switch hitter who is so far 1 for 2, popped out and singled. Base is loaded for the team leader in runs batted in. The first pitch from Justice. Fouled back, and Evan Justice has allowed 4 of the 5 hitters he's faced to reach base.
Not ideal, I don't think.
And they haven't even been beating him. I mean, one was a single from Cruz, and it was a bloop hit. So that I guess Justice, wasn't really beat by. And then these last 3, 2 walks and a hit by pitch.
Well, I think they're beating him in terms of how many pitches he has to throw.
True.
That's one of the biggest things.
They're fouling a lot off, and he's made his fair share of mistakes. The 0-1. Just outside, tried to go backdoor with the breaking ball, but Hayden said not this time.
The black, or at least that paint, is a little bit thinner tonight, and it's staying that way.
Justice looking in towards his catcher as the game has quickly become, maybe slowly, become 2-1 in favor of the Doors. Fastball hits the inside corner this time, and the count runs even, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Inside, outside, back to inside. There's a little bit of a pattern, at least from the Cotuit pitcher.
He comes set with the glove right in front of his letters. Lifts the leg and comes home. The 2-2 spiked in the dirt, and that one goes out of play. The backstop over here at Gov Fuller Field stays about, 25 feet in the air for about a 25-foot stretch, but that one skipped so far towards the right-handed batter's box that it jumped up and over the fence. So coming home is Austin Maisel. Advancing a base are Steven Moretto and Kevin Kendall, and now there are 2 runners in scoring position and a full count to Cantrell.
If you're going to be picky, I guess this isn't the way you want to score runs, but you'll take it every way you can get it.
He's got an RBI, the payoff pitch. Upstairs. Pardon me, that was only the 2-2, so now it's 3-2. So an RBI for Kevin Kendall after he was hit by a pitch, and an RBI for Hayden Cantrell thanks to that wild pitch that honestly could have hit him because it went right where his feet were. He had to dance out of the way. 3-1 game. Here's the payoff pitch. Outside, ball 4, and continuing the walk fest is Hayden Cantrell, as Justice has now allowed 3 walks, 1 hit by pitch, a wild pitch that scored a run, and a single that has scored a run. Things are just falling apart for Justice and the Kettleers.
Yeah, Danny, I can't see the pen, but I've got to think someone is doing a little bit more than just warming up at this point.
Mike Roberts is thinking the same thing as he is slowly walking out to the mound. He's not called his infield yet. So we'll see if this is just going to be a mound visit or whether this is going to be a call to the bullpen. But Justice, facing 6 batters, has allowed 3 runs. None of them charged to only one of them charged to him. But again, none of them really beating him except for maybe the Trey Cruz bloop single.
Danny, while we have a minute, I just want to wrap up the shout out of my Fenway things, just to keep things into maybe tell fans what they might be able to see. They'll be going up on YouTube shortly. It's just a little bit of a collaboration of a whole bunch of different shots, sights, and sounds of the Commodores and their time at Fenway. I had a lot of fun putting these together, and I really highly suggest everybody go and check them out. Like I said, they'll be on our YouTube page in addition to our social media. So thank you again for the opportunity to be able to do this, and I really hope that everybody enjoys it.
Yeah. Yes, listen, those videos have been fantastic. We watched it. We got a sneak preview of it yesterday. I was in awe of it, as now the mound meeting has finally been broken up. Justice is going to stay on the mound, so questionable call by Mike Roberts, giving his reliever some faith. But also want to comment that, Severin, you also do a lot of closing the door, so you're an analyst there too. You get your face in front of the camera. Check those out on YouTube as well. Every game, have that post-game show up just a couple hours after, and you edit those and film those too.
Yes,
You're
sir.
a workhorse while also living in Rhode Island.
Yeah, the 1-hour drive is fun.
Blake Dunn now the hitter with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Righty-lefty matchup yet again. Justice's first pitch just below the knees, ball 1. Final comment for the Fenway stuff. If you like the Commodores, if you like history, Fenway Park, of course, over 100 years old. If you like the Red Sox, if you like college baseball, even if you just like watching these 20-year-old guys look like kids again, it is such a fun video to watch. Pop up towards the right side. Will this stay playable? Yes, it will. Fantastic grab is made right near the Falmouth bullpen by the first baseman, Joey Loperfido. Loperfido with the lone hit for Cotuit, and now he might have just saved another run, as it was going to be foul, but Blake Dunn would have had another chance had it not been caught with the bases loaded. So a fantastic grab and foul ground, and that will do it for a big 4th inning for the Doors. They scored 3 runs on 3 hits, no errors, and they strand the bases loaded as we go to the top of inning number 5, 3-1 Falmouth. Severin, thanks so much for joining us on the broadcast.
Thank you for having me.
Severin will be back on the mic in a week's time, July 10th. Catch them. They'll be at Cotuit. It'll be the same exact situation, only you'll be doing play-by-play. It'll be for the entire game. So Severin Lavenstein with his chance to shine with us, and David Korzenowski will be right back with us after the break.
Curry College offers 14 NCAA Division III athletic teams in sports such as football, baseball, softball, basketball, hockey, soccer, lacrosse, tennis, cross country, and volleyball. Read about the success of the Curry Colonials and their championship teams. It's all online at www.curry.edu.
Baseball Factory, which has proudly supported the Cape League for 20-plus seasons, conducts baseball trainings, tournaments, and showcases at over 1,000 events nationwide, providing players with world-class instruction and help with college recruiting. The Baseball Factory program leads to future success both on and off the field for players in both middle school and high school. It's never too early to start. Learn more at baseballfactory.com.
Cape Cod Coca-Cola thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. Please remember to recycle your empty bottles, cans, and all other recyclable materials. It takes only 6 recycled plastic bottles to make a new baseball cap.
We go to the top of the 5th from Gov Fuller Field in Falmouth, Massachusetts. Danny LaRose and my consistent broadcast partner, David Korzenowski, back on the mic. Well, you got a long inning to
I got lucky.
to show your chops.
Very, very lucky.
First pitch swinging is Major. He shoots a ground ball through the hole on the first base side, and he's got a hit. So the top of the 5th occurring just as the bottom of the fourth happened for Falmouth with a one pitch and a ground ball through the right side for a hit.
Yeah, that was a weird half inning we just had, Danny, and now the pressure all of a sudden back on Cotuit, but it didn't really feel like Falmouth did that much because there was 3 walks, a hit by pitch, a wild pitch, and now they have a 2-run lead.
They did put 9 batters up to the plate, so they batted around as a breaking ball on the back door comes in for a strike to Uraj Anu. But yeah, we saw a pitching change. We saw the bases get stranded yet again, but this time they scored a couple of runs. One hit was an RBI. One of them was an RBI hit for Trey Cruz, which was only a blooper. Otherwise, wild pitch and a hit by pitch brought some home. That ball in the dirt, ball 1.
I mean, you do have to credit Maisel and Moretto, especially Moretto, because he fouled off a ton of pitches and really made Justice work. And when Justice was struggling with the control, he ended up firing a 4th ball.
Pickoff move, nothing doing. Yeah, that Moretto at bat was really impressive because he got ahead 3-1, and then it was 3-2, and he didn't get jittery at all. He didn't get antsy or anything like that. He stayed true to his eye. He fouled off the pitches he needed to, and finally he saw one that missed inside. Now 3-1 Doors, as we mentioned, as the fastball just misses low from Nastrini.
And we saw him get a hold of a couple of those foul balls, right? I mean, he roped one down the left field line and then poked a couple over to the right.
Runner on first, nobody out with the lefty Anu at the plate. He grounds one towards the left side. This could be 2. Moretto coming in, throw on to second. It was a little bit of a low throw, so Cantrell could only get the 1. He couldn't transfer over to first, but still, it's a 5-4 on the fielder's choice, and they get the lead runner.
I think if there's one thing that I can nitpick about Steven Moretto at third base.
Don't you dare.
It's those throws to second base on the double plays, because there have been some plays where he's fielded a ground ball quickly, and we've thought that it could be 2, right? But those throws are sometimes a little bit low, a little bit more towards the outfield in left, so sometimes Cantrell is going back behind his body. Leads to a harder transfer. They get the lead runner, but maybe a small thing, very, very small thing that Moretto can improve.
First pitch swinging is Dante Williams. He fouls one towards the left side. Struck out swinging his first time up. That ended the second inning. As there is a lefty warming in the pen for Falmouth. It is Sam Weatherly out of Clemson University. But I think for right now, as long as Nastrini doesn't run into too much trouble, he should be able to finish off this 5th inning and have himself in line for a win as long as the score remains the same. 0-1 to the lefty Williams. Another foul ball towards the left side. It will not stay playable for Austin Maisel. He gives it a look, but it falls out of play. Cotuit, 1 run on 2 hits. Second hit coming in this inning. They were leading for the majority of the game. For the first about 4 innings, 3.5 innings, they were leading 1-0 thanks to a solo shot from Joey Loperfido. That was the only hit. Otherwise, Nastrini was pretty much perfect.
Yeah, and now because he was able to blank Cotuit for the past couple innings, he's in line for the win if he can shut this down here in the 5th.
Have not been a lot of winning pitchers for Falmouth that have started, or winning pitchers that have started as a whole on the Cape. That pitch sits low, and it's 1-2. Codball had a recent tweet. Got to follow Codball if you don't. But he had a recent tweet where he said, it was I don't know it exactly, but in general that the vast majority of starting pitchers throughout the first month of the season weren't getting wins because they weren't going that far because there were just so few games played. They hadn't played in a while. Here's a slice shot into left field. Maisel coming quick. He dives. He cannot make the grab. It ricochets off the tip of his glove. Luckily for him, it rolls only about 10 feet to his right. So that could have gone over him and towards the wall, would have probably scored a run. Instead, it's a single, and Major has to stay at second.
So Maisel does a good job tracking that ball. He gets in a hurry. We know he has some speed out at left field. But I don't know if it was maybe something where he thought he had to dive and then didn't. Maybe he brought his glove down a little bit lower than he thought he needed to. Closed it too quickly.
Yeah, I think he closed it too early.
The timing, regardless, just a little bit off on that play from Maisel.
So now first and second, as that's the 3rd hit for Cotuit. Righty-righty matchup with Adam Oviedo at the plate. First pitch he sees goes way high. 2 singles sandwiched around a fielder's choice by Anu. has put 2 on for Cotuit with the tying run at first and the go-ahead run at the plate here in the top of the 5th inning. It was a game that was flying by up until the bottom 4th when Falmouth batted around. Mastrini from the stretch comes home. Pop up onto the first base side in foul territory, but playable for Claunch. Yes, it is. He makes the grab right near the fence, a couple of feet away from the bullpen, so not as impressive of a catch as the first baseman Joey Loperfido had to end the previous half inning, but still impressive nonetheless, and gets the second out.
Especially from a traditional catcher, right, Danny? Getting
Right.
over there and fielding a fly ball. That's true. That's true.
Didn't have to rip off the mask this time.
Yeah, exactly.
Cody Pasek is going to be the hitter. Catcher from the University of Maine has been stout behind home plate. His first time up, he tried to bunt, ended up popping it up to Nastrini, the pitcher. First pitch he sees, backdoor breaking ball on the outside corner, strike 1. Tying run still at first base, but it's the 9-hitter who's going to try to bring anyone home. Time called by Matt Nelson, the catcher. Pasek on the summer came into tonight batting .333. He was 8 for 24. So still above 300. Impressive for a guy who has not gotten too much playing time. 24 at-bats, not a lot. The pitch, just inside. Cotuit has been silent since the one long ball in the 2nd inning, but they're starting to get some more business here in the 5th. And looking to put together a 2-out rally. 1-1 breaking ball, that one misses above the letters. Cody Pasek coming off of a 2019 where he hit .250, had 8 doubles and 20 RBIs. Also had a 4-game hitting streak entering the month of July. That was snapped on the 1st of the month.
4 ribbies for him this summer, trying to add another.
He lines one into right field. It will not be an RBI this time as it stays up long enough to go into the glove of Zach DeLoach. An F9 on your scorecard ends the 5th inning as Nastrini allows no runs on 2 hits, no errors, and he strands a couple left on base. If that's it for Nick Nastrini, he had himself a stellar outing. 1 run on 3 hits. As we go into the bottom of the 5th inning, Falmouth leading 3-1.
The Falmouth Commodores would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves.
Baseball Factory, which has proudly supported the Cape League for 20-plus seasons, conducts baseball trainings, tournaments, and showcases at over 1,000 events nationwide, providing players with world-class instruction and help with college recruiting. The Baseball Factory program leads to future success both on and off the field for players in both middle school and high school. It's never too early to start. Learn more at baseballfactory.com.
Cape Cod Coca-Cola thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. We offer over 400 different beverage choices on Cape Cod to quench every thirst, and more than 150 are low or no-calorie options.
Home half of the 5th, we go from Gov Fuller Field. It'll be the heart of the order leading it off yet again. They led off the 4th inning. They'll be leading off the 5th after the Doors batted around just an inning ago. Zach DeLoach got himself to 1 for 2 after he singled in the 4th. Came around to score as well as the first pitch fastball runs high. It was 3 straight singles to start the 4th from 3, 4, and 5. DeLoach, then Claunch, then Cruz. Justice working quickly in his 2nd inning of work, misses low. I was really expecting Mike Roberts when he came around to visit the mound for the second time, I thought he was going to pull Justice immediately.
I thought so too, and that was like, what, a 3-minute conversation on the mound? That
Yeah,
was
it was
like
a
the
long
longest
time.
mound meeting we've seen.
1-1 pop foul by Deloach as he continues to swing a very hot bat. 7 for his last 8. Just you can't-
875 batting average. How's that? Is that pretty good?
You can't put him down. He's ridiculous.
No, he's been great. Probably the best hitter on this Falmouth lineup, at least in the past couple weeks.
2-1 is swung on and missed. That is a money breaking ball from Justice as he had Deloach reaching. 2-2 the count on a lefty-lefty matchup as Deloach comes back into the batter's box. Texas A&M Aggie when it's during the school year. The pitch swung on and missed, strike 3. Another breaking ball in the outer half, and that one bottoms out perfectly against Deloach. He's now got 2 strikeouts against him in this ballgame.
1 for 3, 2 Ks. Maybe not the Deloach we're used to seeing, but I don't know how sustainable 3 for 3 nights are.
Yeah.
Still been good, though, because he got the inning rolling, right? He
Yeah.
got on first base, and that was when the Commodores had, I think it was only 2 hits at the time when he came to the plate. So he cracked the code against Ramage and made the pull to the bullpen.
First pitch fastball paints the outside corner to Troy Claunch. So it looks like Justice has started to find his location. He could not find the strike zone at all when he came in. Walked 3 batters and hit 1. The 0-1 fouled away back into the fence, 0-2.
Something I'm wondering, Danny, do you think maybe him being in the windup has something to do with it? Because he came in and immediately had to pitch from the stretch. Came in a jam with runners on the corners and nobody out. And he's got kind of a weird arm slot. He's got sort of a sidearm-ish delivery. So maybe being in the windup is where he's more comfortable.
These are the Korsanowski-isms that we need. The way he thinks. From the windup again is Justice as he fires one up above the eye level of Troy Claunch. But it's a good point because he came in with runners on base, couldn't find the strike zone, comes into this one, nobody on, so he can pitch from the windup. Granted, he had the bases loaded last half inning, so he could have pitched from the windup, and he opted not to. The 1-2 to Claunch. Line drive into left center field. That one is falling in front of the left fielder. A base hit for Troy. He now is 2 for 3.
Troy Claunch with a couple hard hit balls at the cleanup spot tonight. Was wondering how he would respond after seeing his partner in Taylor Smith do so well at cleanup last night. And the Doors, we saw this in a couple of their first games, right, Danny? They had trouble against the starter, but then once they get to the bullpen, they have a little bit more offensive success. Now 6 hits, 4 of them coming against relievers.
Justice, the only reliever who's come in yet, now checks over towards first. Evan Justice, this is his 3rd appearance. He has thrown a total of 6 1/3 innings pitched, a 9.94 ERA on the Cape so far, and an 0-1 record. Started those first 2. Now in relief. Misses high to Trey Cruz, ball number 1.
Yeah, and against the Wareham Gatemen gave up 7 hits, right? That's against a very hot-hitting Gatemen team. They get a lot of contact, have a great team batting average.
Justice's 0-1 to Trey Cruz, popped up on the infield. He drops the bat right at home plate. And the catch will be made by Joey Loperfido for the 2nd out of the inning. So you mentioned how Falmouth, in the first couple of games, they were pretty much, hapless against starters. And Logan Allen, granted, was a guy they saw 2 times in, the first week.
Right.
So that doesn't help. He's now on Team USA, and he was by far the best pitcher on the Cape all, of the beginning of the season. And then they were able to get to bullpens, but a couple of games ago against Orleans, it was the bullpen that was dominant against Falmouth. That Orleans pitching staff as a whole has the best ERA on the Cape, and we saw it front and center. They held Falmouth scoreless until the 9th. But right now they're getting to the one reliever they've seen, Justice. First pitch to Matt Nelson. Takes a late swing and fouls back a fastball.
And Nelson, a couple different at-bats. In the second, he had a hard hit ball out to right field that just stayed up for Araj Anu. Then grounded into a double play in the 4th inning. And that almost got Cotuit out of the jam completely.
Yeah.
They had a runner on second with 2 outs.
0-1 misses just a bit low. Yeah, I said at the time that could be a real rally killer.
Sure.
But Falmouth got into it. Really, they didn't do it, though. I mean, through no fault of their own did they, get success in that fourth after the double play, because it was just a ton of walks and hit by pitches. Again, some great at-bats worked as well by Maisel and Moretto. Foul ball from Nelson makes it 1-2. But no RBI hits after that double play, but they'll take it anyway. Here in the fifth, we've got a 3-1 Falmouth lead, leading in the hit department as well, 6-3. Neither team has committed an error yet, and that's definitely a nice sight to see, given how there have been a lot of mishaps by pretty much every team, Falmouth specifically with one of the lower fielding percentages. This one is grounded towards short. Flip onto second base for the easy way out, and a fielder's choice will end the fifth inning. No runs on one hit, no errors, and one runner left on base for the Falmouth Commodores here in the home fifth. We will head to the top of the sixth inning. It's 3-1 in favor of Falmouth.
Did you know that Baseball Factory has partnered with the Cape League for the past 20-plus seasons? Baseball Factory is your resource for elite baseball training and college recruiting assistance. They build more varsity starters, all-state athletes, and college and professional ball players than anyone else in the country. With over 1,000 events nationwide for players in middle school and high school and over 100,000 college success stories, you too can build your way to greatness with Baseball Factory. Visit baseballfactory.com to learn more.
Learning at Curry College extends beyond the classroom and is embedded in all they do. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers and active citizenship with a global perspective. Explore undergraduate majors, minors, and concentrations, including new majors in accounting, biochemistry, and software development. Online at www.curry.edu.
Cape Cod Healthcare is the leading provider of healthcare services for residents and visitors of Cape Cod, with 2 acute hospitals and more than 450 physicians. For more information, please visit capecodhealth.org. Cape Cod Healthcare, expert physicians, quality hospitals, superior care. The 99 Restaurants has 9 real-size entrees for only $9.99. They're big, hearty portions you can count on all day, every day. Like the new short rib tacos or New England fried shrimp. The 99 Restaurants, proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Redshirt Fridays is a national program created to acknowledge, honor, and support our troops who put themselves in harm's way to defend our freedom. In support of this program, the Cape League teams will be wearing a specially designed red jersey every Friday. Support our troops and join us by wearing red each Friday.
We begin the sixth inning with a new pitcher at Gov Fuller Field. This time for the Commodores, Sam Weatherly is going to be taking the rubber, taking over the reins for Nick Nastrini. Nastrini threw 5 innings of work, so he's in line for the win if Weatherly and the bullpen can lock things down. Through those 5 innings, allowed 3 hits, 1 run. It was earned. It was a home run. 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. Nothing that jumps off the page too much, but a very sound outing from Nastrini.
Yeah, no question. I mean, 1 earned run in 5 innings. That's a great line. Yeah, that's a great line. Because that's a sub-2 ERA right there if you keep that going. On the other hand, Sam Weatherly, his last time out against Hyannis, he really struggled. We've seen some of these relievers. It's kind of feast or famine.
Yeah.
Like they either are locked down, no hits, no runs, striking out a handful, or they're kind of getting slapped around a little bit. And Weatherly was definitely the latter his last time out. June 26th against Hyannis, an inning and a third of work. 5 runs, 4 of them earned, 4 hits, 1 walk, and 1 K. He was tabbed with the loss that ended in a 10-4 win for the Harbor Hawks. So trying to rebound here.
Big chance to in a game that is close like the one he came into last time out. So if he thought he lost his confidence, well, here's a chance to gain it right back as he fires a first pitch fastball that's fouled away by the leadoff man Gonzalez. He's 0 for 2. 0-1 misses low. How about Nick Nastrini against Gonzalez and Schmidt, 2 guys who are batting well over 300, who have been red hot recently. He's kept them a collective 0 for 4.
Yeah, that's what you got to do against the top of this Cotuit order.
1-1 breaking ball just low and inside, 2-1. Cotuit had just 1 run on 1 hit through the first 4 innings. It was a home run from Lo Perfido, who is due up 4th in this inning if we get that far. 2-1 popped up towards the right side onto the berm in the right field grass, out of play. But then in the in the 5th, they got back into business, got a couple of hits, did strand those guys on the base path, scored no runs, but maybe got a little bit of their mojo back. And now quickly they kind of have to regain their stride as they got used to Nastrini, and he's pulled right out from under them.
Yeah, now facing Weatherly, rising junior at Clemson.
2-2 breaking ball on the outside corner, strike 3 called. Look a little bit high, but it broke over the knees. Gonzalez didn't like it, but oh my goodness, that's a money pitch.
Yeah, to me that's a beautiful curveball. I mean, I saw that drop in right below the letters and just freeze up Gonzalez by the time it had crossed the plate. He was way too late to even start a swing. It's a money punch-out pitch if he can keep it going.
Poor Chris Gonzalez. His last 2 at-bats, both of them looking strikeouts on 2 of the nastiest pitches we've seen all night. First pitch is a fastball to Casey Schmidt that hits the inside edge, 0-1. Schmidt struck out swinging his first time up, popped up to short. Watches that fastball just below the knees. Like in the strike zone tonight from Jim Fonseca, very consistent. He's maybe giving a little bit of liberty to the pitchers on the corners, but not all that much. And he is calling everything all day the same way. Pop up over towards the right side. That one is foul, and it stays playable for Troy Claunch, just a couple of feet to the left of the first base bag. He records the out, 2 up and 2 down for Weatherly.
Well, that's exactly what Weatherly needed after coming out and facing just 4 batters. Giving up 4 runs is some quick outs, because if he walked the first guy or allowed a first hit, that completely changes the momentum and likely the mentality of the lefty.
Here's a lefty at the plate. Parker Chavers watches a breaking ball hit the outside corner. Chavers from Coastal Carolina, hit .316 this last year. How about the power numbers? 15 home runs, 54 RBIs. That's why he's batting in the 3-hole for Cotuit as he watches that ball skip off the plate. Hasn't really found the home run stroke just yet. He does have 2 home runs, but
I love how we're saying on a Cotuit roster that
right.
2 home runs is like not even the best.
Exactly. That's the way you have to qualify it,
right.
especially given his 2019. 15 home runs, and boy, Coastal Carolina probably around 60 games. Foul ball towards the right side, hits in front of the dugout. That's 60 games. They got knocked out in the Georgia Tech Regional. Can't remember if that's just about 50 or I think that's around 60, 61 games. So not bad at all for Parker Chavers, a rising junior.
4 extra base hits this summer, 4 doubles, 2 home runs, 7 RBIs.
Here's the 1-2. Pops it foul towards the left side. Weatherly trying to work a 1-2-3 inning in the 6th. This game's
Nastrini running into a little bit of trouble in the 5th inning. Likely the reason for his pull at the end of inning number 5.
He only had around like 60 pitches, but again, only his second start. Did get through 5, so again, as we've been saying, he's in line for a win. The 1-2, swung on and missed, dropped by Matt Nelson, quickly slaps the tag onto the backside of Chavers. He is a strikeout victim for the first time tonight. And how about that for Sam Weatherly? After an abysmal outing his last time out, he works a 1-2-3 6th while striking out 2 of the top hitters in the Cotuit lineup. We'll head to the bottom of the 6th inning, still 3-1 Falmouth on the Falmouth Commodores Baseball Network.
Urgent care is now available at 4 Cape Cod Healthcare locations: Hyannis, Falmouth, Sandwich, and Harwich. Open after hours and weekends. Staffed by ER physicians. Expert care when you need it. Learn more at capecodhealth.org/urgentcare.
Did you know that Baseball Factory has partnered with the Cape League for the past 20-plus seasons? Baseball Factory is your resource for elite baseball training and college recruiting assistance. They build more varsity starters, all-state athletes, and college and professional ball players than anyone else in the country. With over 1,000 events nationwide for players in middle school and high school and over 100,000 college success stories, you too can build your way to greatness with Baseball Factory. Visit baseballfactory.com to learn more. The Colossal Lobster Rolls are back at the 99 restaurants. Visit today in Centerville, Falmouth, Mashpee, Wareham, or Yarmouth for the best value for lobster rolls on the Cape. The 99, proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
To the bottom of the sixth we go from Gov Fuller Field with the Falmouth Commodores leading the Cotuit Kettleers 3-1. First matchup of the summer for these teams, and it's July 3rd. First pitch to Austin Maisel taken outside. Last year it took a while to face Cotuit. I think it was July 5th?
I think it was first. I could be wrong. It was early in the month for sure. But it's worth noting, too, that – we'll wait for this pitch.
It is lined foul.
It's worth noting, too, that the reason they're playing this late is not because of rainouts, right? We saw like their games against Orleans and Brewster. First matchups were pushed a little bit back because of some rain delays. Falmouth and Cotuit's first scheduled meeting was tonight.
The 1-1 is roped into left center field. That one is falling, and it will get down and two-hop the fence. Austin Maisel chugs around first. He's into second. He's going for three. Here's the throw in from third. He stops short halfway down the line, and he's caught in a rundown. Charging him back is Schmidt, the third baseman. Austin's going to try to dodge it, and he is tagged out. Maisel gets us off to a wild start in the sixth inning. Had a sure double, tried to make it three, thought better of it once he saw the throw come in.
That is a tough pill to swallow for Austin Maisel. He was looking for his first extra base hit of the summer, Danny, and he had it. It was a gapper into left center field. And he is frustrated with himself going back to the the dugout, as he is just beside himself right now.
First pitch to Steven Moretto. He lines into left field. That one falls for a hit. Probably would have been runners on first and third had everything stayed the same and Maisel stayed on second, but alas, Moretto is now on first with a hit. That does go down as an extra base hit for Maisel, right? I think it does go down as a double because he definitely had second base. So he has his first extra base hit, but he erased himself from the base paths, and I'm not going to even go into how that one is scored.
Yeah, no, that was a lot of throws back and forth. And what I was looking at was Brett Becker, the third base coach. He was saying, come to third, and he told him hit the deck. If I'm Maisel there, I'm just trying to chug to third base and just trust the coach. Because what he did was he looked into left field, and then he made the decision himself. If you trust your coach, even if you're thrown out, right, at least it's a closer play, and it's not your fault if you're out, really, in that situation. But overthought it a little bit and then thrown out on the base paths.
First pitch to Kevin Kendall is a bunt up the first base line. It hits off of him as he's running up the line, and he is out. Ryan Eiley, the first base coach, trying to say that he was in foul territory, but I don't think Kendall ever stepped off of the first base line. The ball followed him and caught up to him. So he gets himself out on the bunt, and this has just been a wacky sixth inning. I mean, this is ridiculous. I do want to comment on your mentioning Brett Becker. After he got tagged out, Brett hung his head, put his hands on his knees, because, again, I think he thought the same thing, where, Austin, just come to me, I gave you the call, and at the very least, you're hoping for, even if the ball beats you, you're hoping for an errant throw or for, the tag to be dropped or something. Running from first is Moretto. Throw down to second, not in time. Falmouth 1 for 1 on stolen bases tonight as Steven Moretto has swiped a bag.
Well, it's not a Falmouth game unless they steal a base, so check that box. But, yeah, I mean, we keep going back to this play because right now it is the play of the inning. I think, too, he was about two-thirds of the way down the line. I think he beats it out.
Potentially,
if he wasn't looking, because as soon as he looked, he slowed up. But if he doesn't slow up, I think if he slides in, he would probably get there because it was also being cut off by Oviedo at short. It would have been an extra throw.
1-0 to Hayden Cantrell. It's a fastball strike, evens up the count. 1 ball to 1 strike. I'm still waiting for it to see how that one against Kevin Kendall is scored. I don't know if that's like a 2 unassisted because the ball just hit him on the foot. But that's just for me keeping the book. 1-1 on the corner and at the knees. Cantrell takes a very close strike. Count now 1-2 with Moretto on second and 2 outs in the 3-1 ball game. Hayden batting from the right side yet again. He's 1 for 2, a single and a walk in his last two at-bats. Got an RBI in his last plate appearance as well. The pitch inside for ball number 2. Sun setting here at Gov Fuller Field, pretty much all but set, as we still see some scarlet rays over the trees in left field. Not a cloud in the sky for pretty much this entire game. It's been a beautiful night, day before Independence Day. 2-2 from Cantrell makes the count full. And with a chance here to score some runs, add some insurance, we're starting to near the latter third of the ball game. Could be a beautiful day made even better for this crowd with a Falmouth win.
Yeah, no doubt, Danny. We said it last night, but it was probably going to be, at least for the regular season, the highest attendance in back-to-back games.
Yeah. Payoff pitch, downstairs, ball 4. Hayden Cantrell has worked a walk in back-to-back at-bats. Runners will be on first and second with 2 outs for Blake Dunn, who does have a hit today.
He does. It was back in the first. But first I want to talk about Cantrell. I think he's settling in back to that leadoff style, right? We saw he had a ton of extra base hits and some home runs, leading the team in home runs and RBIs. He still is, but now he's walking more, singling, and that average is coming down slowly.
Mound visit from Mike Roberts, the manager, and this will probably be it for the pitcher, Justice, as it looks like they will be opting for a right-hander in just a moment after this mound meeting. So we will head to a break while they talk this over and potentially bring in a reliever. For now, it's 3-1 in favor of the Doors, and they are threatening here in the 6th. 2 runners on and 2 outs. We'll be right back.
The Falmouth Commodores would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves.
Red Shirt Fridays is a national program created to acknowledge, honor, and support our troops who put themselves in harm's way to defend our freedom. In support of this program, the Cape League teams will be wearing a specially designed red jersey every Friday. Support our troops and join us by wearing red each Friday.
Urgent care is now available at 4 Cape Cod healthcare locations: Hyannis, Falmouth, Sandwich, and Harwich. Open after hours and weekends. Staffed by ER physicians. Expert care when you need it. Learn more at capecodhealth.org/urgentcare.
The 99 Restaurants has 9 real-size entrees for only $9.99. They're big, hearty portions you can count on all day, every day. Like the new short rib tacos or New England fried shrimp. The 99 Restaurants, proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
After the pitching change, we are back and ready for baseball with 2 outs in the 6th inning. And the new pitcher is going to be a righty from William and Mary. It's Christopher Farrell, a rising redshirt senior, originally from Great Falls, Virginia, who has plenty of years under his belt and has improved over those years.
Yeah, no doubt about it, Danny. During his redshirt junior campaign, 2.58 ERA, 5-2 record, was primarily used in late relief, had 6 saves in 38 and a third innings of work. I think what stands out the most to him are his summer seasons.
Yeah.
He has been all over the place. Last summer with the Wilson Tobbs in the Coastal Plains League. 2017, he was in this neck of the woods in the Futures League with the Martha's Vineyard Sharks. Remember, Martha's Vineyard Sharks making the switch from the Futures League to the NECBL this year. Don't ask me how that went down. I have no idea. And in 2016 was with the Herndon Braves in the Cal Ripken League. So now he gets his 4th Summer League under his belt. That's got to be some sort of like
Yeah.
record or achievement unlocked.
Maybe
or
there's a
something
guy
like that.
out west because the West Coast League recruits rising freshmen into college, so maybe a guy out west has him beat. But for now, he's been all over the place, at least on the East Coast. First pitch that Farrell throws is a breaking ball below the knees to Blake Dunn. He is 1 for 3. Had a single his first time up, then a ground out and a pop out. Chance here for RBIs in back-to-back games for Blake. He's got a runner on second in Moretto and Cantrell on first. Couple looks back towards Moretto. Here's the 1-0. Outside, ball 2.
Maybe it's our low angle vantage point and being sort of at the same level as Farrell, but it seems like he has that zip on the fastball.
Yeah.
Seems like he's definitely got some giddy up to it.
Some running action, maybe.
He's missed a couple times here, but maybe impressing the scouts behind the screen.
Time is called, as he took a long time agreeing on a pitch. This is his 4th appearance. He got an outing on opening day. Went 4 1/3 in a 4-3 win against Yarmouth Dennis. Only allowed 1 hit and 1 run. He was stellar. His next 2 outings, not much to write home about. 2-0, the count to Dunn. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on and missed, just blown it right by him. June 16th, he faced YD again, lost 7-2, got tagged with the loss through 3 1/3, allowed 6 runs on 8 hits, 4 walks. Then June 28th against Orleans, 2 innings of work, 2 runs, 5 hits. So it's been slowly and steadily getting worse for Farrell as the summer has worn on. Big opportunity here. The 2-1 in the dirt, scoop made behind home plate by Pasek. He's been steadily rising the ERA has been dropping. His performance has been rising at William & Mary has Farrell. An ERA at 5.95 as a redshirt freshman, 4.44 in 2018, and then down to 258, as we mentioned this past year. 3-1 the count to Blake. Here's the pitch. Another fastball kept it belt high, and Dunn swung right through it.
He's looking good against Blake Dunn. The fastballs looked good. I don't know. I thought I saw a little break on that last pitch. Might have ducked below the bat of Blake Dunn. But if so, it was on a very tight rope.
Full count nonetheless with runners on first and second and 2 outs. Payoff pitch will have to wait because he's going to look back Moretto first. Moretto is not really shading towards third at all. Doesn't look like he's going to steal. He's in scoring position already. But given the Doors' history this season, you got to keep him honest. The payoff pitch to Blake Dunn. Outside, ball 4. Yet another walk with runners on base as the Falmouth Commodores continue to reach base with a free pass. That is now the 4th walk allowed in the last 3 innings.
So Ramage, starting pitcher for Cotuit, pitches 3 innings, doesn't walk 1 batter. Justice, in 2 2/3 innings of work, walks 4, and Farrell walks the first he faces.
Yeah, you're right. That was the 5th walk, pardon me. Also had a hit by pitch against
and a wild pitch.
And a wild pitch. So pitching and the bullpen specifically not doing themselves many favors as ball 1 sits low to Zach DeLoach. He led off the 4th inning. He led off the 5th inning. Now he's got a chance with 2 outs to extend the 6th and perhaps break the game open. Bases loaded for like the millionth time this season. Falmouth just always loads the bases. They did it a couple times last night in the 12-7 route. The pitch, cut on and missed. That fastball, again, I think with some running action, kind of flew by him.
And we've talked a little bit. I think at least after last night, the bases loaded woes have kind of moved to the back burner. But I don't know if Zach DeLoach has had a chance with the bases juiced. And who better to have at the plate in this kind of situation?
David, I'm glad you brought that up because I did research that today. As the 1-1 goes through the wickets of Pasek and it rolls to the backstop, coming home and scoring is Steven Moretto. Yet another mishap from Cotuit pitching. That one might be a little bit against Pasek as he just couldn't squeeze the baseball, but nonetheless, it is one that gets past the catcher and brings home a run.
That one is definitely on Pasek. That should be rolled to pass ball. He had it stopped, but it somehow leaked past his left leg and towards the backstop. Deloach quickly signaling to Moretto to take home, and he did.
So runners on second and third. Deloach watches a pitch high, 3-1. Zach does get an RBI, and you mentioned a moment ago how it's great that he's got an opportunity to get an RBI because during his hot stretch when he was 6 for his last 6 and 7 for his last 10 over his last 6 games, none of those hits were RBIs. They were pretty much all coming with nobody on base or maybe just a runner on first. Now with 2 Ducks in scoring position and a 3-1 count. The pitch, breaking ball, cuts over the inside part of the plate, 3-2. Full count, 2 men on. 4-1 ball game now with Falmouth looking to add more. The pitch, ground ball right side, takes the first baseman off the bag. He fields it on a backhand, underhand flip by Loperfido over to the pitcher Farrell, covering 3-1 put out to retire the side. Falmouth do add 1. They score it on only 2 hits, no errors, and 2 men left on base, thanks to a couple of walks and a wild pitch. But that will do it for the 6th. We will head to the top of the 7th inning. It's 4-1 in favor of the Doors.
Curry College offers 14 NCAA Division III athletic teams in sports such as football, baseball, softball, basketball, hockey, soccer, lacrosse, tennis, cross country, and volleyball. Read about the success of the Curry Colonials and their championship teams. It's all online at www.curry.edu.
Redshirt Fridays is a national program created to acknowledge, honor, and support our troops who put themselves in harm's way to defend our freedom. In support of this program, the Cape League teams will be wearing a specially designed red jersey every Friday. Support our troops and join us by wearing red each Friday.
Cape Cod Coca-Cola thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. We offer over 400 different beverage choices on Cape Cod to quench every thirst, and more than 150 are low or no-calorie options.
The 99 Restaurants has 9 real-size entrees for only $9.99. They're big, hearty portions you can count on all day, every day. Like the new short rib tacos or New England fried shrimp. The 99 Restaurants, proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Back in action here at Gov Fuller Field as we begin the top of the 7th inning. Danny LaRose joined alongside David Korzanowski. 4-1 in favor of the Doors as this game slowly but surely moving along. I mean, it was flying by in the first 4 or so innings. Then we got a very long 4th inning where the Doors batted around. And since then, they've added a couple more runs as it's 4-1. And the first pitch is a breaker in the dirt for ball 1 to Loperfido.
Loperfido's been lethal. Just only his 3rd at bat now. Grounded out his last time up in the 4th inning.
That one skips. Did that hit his bat?
I think it was ruled a foul ball.
Yeah.
Yep.
Kind of checked his swing, but still made contact with it. Went right down into the dirt, and the count 1-1. Aubrey Major stands on deck. He also has a hit. 1-2. Sam Weatherly is going to exchange baseballs. The Clemson lefty had a fantastic 6th inning, 2 strikeouts, and a pop out to first. The top of the order was able to muster pretty much nothing, not much contact against Weatherly. He fires a fastball high. World Series trophy is now an hour gone. So I hope all the fans got their pictures with it. You got
a picture, right?
I did. You got a picture with it.
It was very cool to see. Because I've seen him sort of behind the glass casing, but there's something special about it being right in front of you.
2-1, just misses low. Good breaking action by Weatherly, but it misses anyway. Yeah, that was the one rule that I overheard was that people can't touch it. But it's still cool. I've never seen it. I mean, I did go to Cooperstown one summer. I can't remember if I saw it there. It was a while ago. Pop up towards the left side. Moretto is chasing for it. He's near the Cotuit bullpen, but it'll go out of play. And, yeah, it's kind of cool where you just walk by and you're like, oh, That's the World Series
And it's
trophy.
right there, and I could grab it if I wanted to. but
Run
then I'd
away
be
with
in
it.
trouble.
Get tackled. All the flags on it. I liked how it was inscribed 2018 World Series. I guess they have to inscribe a new one every year. Or
Yeah, so they create a new one every year as far as I
a new
know.
trophy?
Yeah,
Oh, boy.
yeah.
Okay, I thought that I was going to say that thing has a lot of history, a lot of
Because
people
it's not like a Stanley Cup type thing
Right.
where they keep adding to it.
Payoff pitch, downstairs, ball 4. Sam Weatherly allows his first base runner of the ball game. It's a walk to lead off the 7th inning, and Aubrey Major is going to be the hitter. That's something Severin, and maybe I'm spoiling something, but a little sneak peek to something else he's creating. Severin Lavenstein, our great videographer who was on for the 4th, he's creating another package. He was asking some of the players what their favorite trophy was in the Big Four sports. I'm going to open that up to, in general, what's your favorite trophy? Because obviously I think, for me, I'm a huge hockey fan, and,
Right.
and the Stanley Cup is so iconic. I mean, you've got, all of the greats hoisting that thing and guys getting their names inscribed, and just the fact that it stays the same trophy every year.
Yep.
And it's really cool that it's just this giant, thing that people lift over their heads and whatnot. As the first pitch to Major is fouled back. I also love the old BCS championship
You took
ball.
my
No, I'm
So
sorry.
no, you're good. But what I was gonna say, I think the Stanley Cup is the best trophy in all sports.
Yeah.
I think that most people would agree, especially if you've seen it. I mean, it's a behemoth. What is it now? 50 pounds? 60?
And it goes pretty tall. I mean, it's up to a lot of guys like waists.
Right.
0-1 to Major, breaking ball. Good block by Nelson.
But I was gonna say, if I had to pick a second, I was running through some in my mind. The Super Bowl trophy doesn't stand out too much. Basketball's all right, and then the World Series trophy's cool. But I loved that crystal ball for the BCS.
I was
National
bummed.
Championship.
I was so happy when they got away from the BCS system, but I was bummed when the College Football Playoff Championship was not the same
Right.
trophy. Because I could just imagine having a catch with that crystal ball. Foul away, makes it 1-2. The danger adds to the fun of it, of having a catch with it. But yeah, nonetheless, it's a cool looking trophy, and I don't know, trophies definitely something that Falmouth hasn't seen in a while. Hasn't been since 1980, where they've hoisted the Cape League trophy. Do we even know what that one looks like?
Yeah, it's pretty generic.
The Commissioner's Cup, we have an old one up in
Right.
the press box in our trophy case. It's literally just a silver bowl on a
Right.
wooden stand.
Right. Rustic.
The 1-2 will have to wait. Weatherly checks over at first base. I was also saying how the College World Series trophy, it's just one of those generic NCAA plaques.
Yep.
The only sport that gets a special one is, again, the College Football Playoff. I say we run a campaign to end that. Make a cool baseball trophy. 1-2 to Major. Fastball just low. Good frame job by Nelson, but it was probably about half an inch below the knees to Major.
Major working to get at bat as well. He's fouled off a handful of pitches. Loperfido before him did the same and earned a walk.
2-2 from Weatherly. Fastball fouled away again. How about Aubrey Major? I think now 3 foul balls. Watched a pitch very close to the strike zone sit low. He's putting together quite the at-bat.
He is indeed rising junior at Xavier. 281 average with the Musketeers this past year. Some power, too. 15 doubles, 7 home runs.
2-2. Checks his swing. He went around. Matt Nelson has to go retrieve the ball behind home plate. Long throw down to first. He's not going to try to make it, as it's a swinging strikeout, but a drop third strike that gets Major to first base anyway. Sam Weatherly unable to get the out. No, pardon me. What am I saying? There's a runner on first. There's no drop third strike. Less than 2 outs.
Well, Matt Nelson was fooled as well, as was Aubrey Major.
So was Major.
But I think the reason for the confusion was Loperfido dashed towards second as soon as that ball skipped past the catcher Nelson. So it looked like first base was open.
Right. So that goes down as a stolen base technically for Loperfido. Major is an out because of the, that's a very baseball specific rule that if the catcher drops the third strike of the at bat, then the hitter can try to beat it out and go to first base, and he would be safe at first. But that can only be the case if there's nobody on first base,
right,
or if there is a guy on first, there's less than 2 outs. So a lot of caveats there. If you're just an
it's like the infield fly rule.
Yeah, if you're just an average baseball fan, then don't worry about it. But first pitch swinging and fouling back, a fastball is Iraj Anu, pardon me. Anu, coming out of community college, will be heading to the University of Kentucky for his junior year. Was at Wallace Community College Dothan. That is in Alabama. And boy, did he tear it up. 394 average, 19 home runs, 65 ribbies in 54 games played. Here's the 0-1, misses low. And he's got, I'm sure, an interesting story that we got to pick the brains of maybe the Cotuit broadcasters to see what happened with Anu. He was a 16th round draft pick by the hometown Boston Red Sox in 2017. Opted instead to go to school, was the number 3 outfielder in the state of Florida, was the number 25 outfielder in the whole country. But then he ends up going to a community college in Alabama, not to, you would expect maybe a Miami or a Florida or a Vanderbilt or something like that.
And then going to Kentucky, too.
Kentucky, a team that recruits well but has yet to find success in the SEC, a jam-packed conference with some great baseball teams, as a fastball just runs below the knees, 2-1. He's definitely earned his D1 bid with those numbers that we just mentioned. So far this summer, though, he's run into a lot of trouble. Had hits in his first 6 games played. Since then, he's 2 for his last 34 at-bats. Checks his swing, and it hit him on the foot, but he went around. So Nelson is trying to say he went around. And yes, it will be a strike, as some confusion again. Jim Fonseca initially called hit by pitch, and then he was like, oh, wait, no, that was definitely a swing.
Yeah, that's the right call. He clearly went around on the swing, and we've actually seen a couple of those from Weatherly where they're such good breaking balls that they break so sharply, and they're bouncing before the plate. Right, that was the ball that skipped over the glove of Nelson to move Loperfido over towards second and create that confusion for Major over at first. Similar kind of thing for Anu right now. Such a sharp break that he goes around and swings on a ball that ends up hitting him on the foot.
2-2 the count after all the confusion. Runner goes from second. Anu gets under that one. He pops it into mid-right center field. Calling for it is Blake Dunn as he makes the grab. And unfortunately for Loperfido, who was on second base, he was, would have easily had stolen third. Then he has to go all the way back to second. Probably would have easily been able to tag up, but he had to run back.
Maybe a hit and run called by Mike Roberts, perhaps, on that 2-2 pitch to Anu. But great heads-up base running from Loperfido to get back to second in a hurry. We've seen a couple plays with some confusion on how many outs there are. See guys get doubled up. Not the case. So Cotuit's still threatening with a runner in scoring position.
And Anu now 0 for 3, drops to 2 for his last 37. Tough stretch for him as Dante Williams, who's 1 for 2 with a single his last time up, swings at a pitch that had no business being swung at, way out of the strike zone in the dirt. But I guess it looked juicy enough that he wanted to chase. Williams manning center field tonight from the University of Arizona, a teammate of Cameron Cannon, the 2018 Falmouth Commodore, and a second-round pick, I think? Second-round pick by these hometown Red Sox. 0-1. Breaking ball, checks his swing. Definitely did not go around on that.
So second-round pick, but the first pick for the Red Sox. Red Sox did not have a pick in the first round.
What was the trade?
I do not know.
Maybe in the sale trade, I bet. Something like that. Still a good pick. I mean, second round, great for Cameron Cannon, and I'm sure
it was 43rd overall.
I'm sure Red Sox fans are going to be happy with him. 1-1, spiked, and that one gets through Matt Nelson, goes way back to the backstop, and doesn't even carry him away. But taking third and staying there is Loperfido. He's another 90 feet closer to home plate. 4-1 in favor of the Doors with 2 outs in the top of the 7th. Loperfido led off the inning with a walk. He stole second on a confusing strike 3. Now he's taken third thanks to the wild pitch. Dante Williams just needs to put one into the outfield, and he'll have himself an RBI and cut the lead in half. The 2-1 from Weatherly. Fastball roped into center field. That one stays up, however, and will be caught by Dunn. Great contact and a loud out number 3. But regardless, Weatherly gets out of the jam as he allows no runs on no hits, no errors, and strands a runner on third base. It's stretch time at the Gov. Bottom 7 we go, 4-1 Doors.
Did you know that Baseball Factory has partnered with the Cape League for the past 20 plus seasons? Baseball Factory is your resource for elite baseball training and college recruiting assistance. They build more varsity starters, all-state athletes, and college and professional ball players than anyone else in the country. With over 1,000 events nationwide for players in middle school and high school and over 100,000 college success stories, you too can build your way to greatness with Baseball Factory. Visit baseballfactory.com to learn more.
Learning at Curry College extends beyond the classroom and is embedded in all they do. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers and active citizenship with a global perspective. Explore undergraduate majors, minors, and concentrations, including new majors in accounting, biochemistry, and software development. Online at www.curry.edu.
The 99 Restaurants has 9 real-size entrees for only $9.99. They're big, hearty portions you can count on all day, every day. Like the new short rib tacos or New England fried shrimp. The 99 Restaurants, proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Home 7 as Sweet Caroline rings out at Gov Fuller Field, and Troy Claunch is going to lead off the inning. The catcher from Oregon State getting his first reps at first base tonight, something we've been talking about a lot. With 3 catchers and no first baseman on the roster, you're going to expect a couple of them to man that first base spot. Strike number 1 paints the inside black to Claunch. He's 2 for 3, struck out his first time up, but then had singles in the 4th and the 5th. Farrell still on the hill. That breaking ball skips 50 feet. Still had a while to go before the plate. He really spiked that. I got news on the Kevin Kendall bunt that hit him.
Okay.
It's a batter's interference. It's one of the very rare batter's interferences that would get the batter himself out. 1-1 fastball on the outside corner, strike 2. Typically when you see batter's interference, it's because a guy's stealing second or stealing third, and the batter stays in the box and doesn't give the catcher a lane to throw the ball, which would make the runner out at the base. Here's the 1-2 to Claunch. Breaking ball swung on and missed, strike 3. It only took 4 pitches to get through Troy Claunch. Farrell looking sharp to start this inning.
Farrell again coming in a jam, kind of like Justice before him. Comes in and pitches from the stretch and looks a little bit shaky, has trouble finding the zone. Comes out for his first full inning of work and looks much more sharp.
Trey Cruz is going to bat from the left side as he takes a ball up and in. Cruz batted from the left side his first time up, popped out to shortstop. Then I believe it was the right side the next 2 times after that, a single and another pop out. So he's 1 for 3. The 1-0, ball upstairs. 4-1 in favor of the Commodores. They have 4 runs on 8 hits, no errors. Cotuit, 1 run on 3 hits, no errors. Not often you see this red-hot Cotuit lineup held all but hitless. As the ball misses high yet again, 3-0.
No question about it, Danny. They put up some of the highest run totals on the Cape, as they have been outstanding this summer. We mentioned leading the Cape League in home runs.
Team average of 242, but that's impressive for the first half of the summer season. Typically, teams really struggle at the dish when we begin, as the strike hits the outside corner to make it 3-1.
Last time they were held off the board so much was on June 30th against Wareham. 1-0 shutout that the Gatemen won.
3-1 pitch hits the outside corner. Full count. We saw Cotuit and Wareham. They must have played like 3 or 4 times at this point. I think they're halfway done with their season series because they seem to be playing each other a lot. I think they had a home and home at the end of June. Foul ball on the payoff pitch. We'll try again. Meanwhile, Falmouth is going to have to face Cotuit 6 times in the month of July alone. So less than 30 days, or right about 30 days, because the final regular season game will be against Cotuit on July 31st. Payoff pitch yet again. Fly ball into left field. That one is going to get up and out of play.
Hard hit ball off the bat of Trey Cruz. He's been back and forth as that switch hitter tonight. Batted as a lefty, then as a righty, now as a lefty.
Time called as Trey Cruz has lost the elbow protector, the Evo Shield. 3-2 count with 1 out and nobody on base after Clunch struck out. The pitch upstairs, ball 4. Trey Cruz now has reached base for the 2nd time tonight. Doesn't get to up his 300 average, but he still gets to wreak havoc on the base paths with Matt Nelson up to the dish.
So this has been one of the storylines of tonight's game, Danny, is the free passes.
Yeah.
We've seen now 6 walks issued by Cotuit pitching. That puts them at an even 70 walks on the summer. Coming into the night, they had the 3rd most walks in the Cape League at 64. On the other side, Falmouth does not do that very often. Came in with 34 walks. That was least on the Cape League, and just 2 free passes tonight.
Showing bunt is Nelson. He can't get it down, 0-1. Yeah, it's something you said last night was Falmouth does not walk a lot of guys. Cotuit, meanwhile, it's very evident that they do. And their bats aren't coming alive to make up for it because typically, I mean, they've got that 500, over 500 record because their bats have been so good. I'm trying to see where they slot in the Western Division when it comes to hitting. I can't quite find it, but it's got to be up there. I mean, with the way Bourne and Falmouth has been swinging the bats for the first part of the season, Cotuit definitely a lot better. 0-1 the count to Matt Nelson, who's 0 for 3. Breaking ball, he fouls back. Nelson and the Seminoles were knocked out of the College World Series early on. Got their final, what?
I love how you phrase that. I don't know.
I'm trying to set it up so that, you know, it's been 2 weeks and
That's
now
fair,
he's here.
That's fair. I'm sorry, I'll shut my mouth.
They beat Arkansas. Starting pitcher for tonight for Cotuit from Arkansas, so he's seen plenty of Nelson. Then they lost to Michigan and Texas Tech. That was about 2 weeks ago, like I mentioned. So it's been a little bit for Nelson because you mentioned how, you know, guys show up to the Cape, they have to adjust to the wooden bat. Also, you're used to playing every single day, almost every single day, you know, 3-4 times a week with practices almost every day from February through, you know, the month of June for most teams. And then all of a sudden he takes 2 weeks off. So it's also kind of getting back into that consistent play time too. Been a while since he's swung a bat in live action. Another pickoff move to first. They're really trying to keep Cruz close.
And they've been trying to keep every runner at first base to start the inning close. They did it with Deloach in the 4th. They've clearly been preoccupied with the Falmouth base runners. Clearly the scouting report is out on how much they like to run the bases.
Another pickoff move. We've been waiting for an 0-2 pitch for the last minute or so, and still he's trying to pick off the runner at first. I mean, all you got to do is fire a pitch past Matt Nelson, and you've got 2 outs. You don't have to worry about the runner.
Double play maybe.
Yeah, or that.
Force a ground ball.
Instead, they're trying to make sure he doesn't run. He does not. The 0-2 misses way high.
So going back to Cotuit hitting, Danny, 242 average for the team. 4th on the Cape League and 3rd in the West Division. Falmouth last night upped their team batting average 20 points.
Okay.
Because of that 19-hit performance against Brewster.
So they're up to 252, and that's 3rd on the Cape. Breaking ball off the plate blocked. I also forgot that Falmouth had a good batting average because although they were like last in the league in hits, you got to take into account the fact that they've played 3 or 4 less games than most teams.
And also, too, they left a lot of runners stranded in some of those games in the middle. So it wasn't the hits that were lacking. It was the hits with runners in scoring position.
The team that Only hit double digits in the run column for the first time last night, but definitely had plenty more chances to do it in previous games. 2-2 to Matt Nelson. That one misses high. And after getting ahead 0-2, these last 3 pitches from Farrell have been just nowhere close.
I'm wondering if the checks at first base have something to do with it, or maybe the fact that he's back in the stretch.
Fireworks going off over about a couple miles away over the right field fence. Runner goes, but it's ball 4 anyway. Matt Nelson reaches base for the first time on his Cape career after a walk, and Cruz heads on to second.
I mean, Falmouth will keep taking it, right? If they can't throw it over the strike zone, they're going to take these free runners, but something Cotuit has to limit, especially when they're trailing by 3. You got to get a quick inning, get it back to your bats.
David, I'm going to send you on a rabbit hole journey because this is another tough stat to find, but I'm sure it's in there somewhere. But how about teams drawing walks? Falmouth has to be towards the top in that because you got guys like Blake Dunn who walks just about every game. Pickoff move over to second. It runs away as Trey Cruz is going to run away himself onto third, slides in safely. Ball skips away after it was blocked by Schmidt. But that will just give Nelson enough time to head over to second base. So both runners advance after the throwing error by the pitcher Farrell. He tried to pick off Cruz, threw it a little too far away from the shortstop Oviedo who was covering. Now there are 2 runners in scoring position for the machine, Austin Maisel.
And Maisel looking for a little redemption. After his last time up, he roped a double into the gap. It was his first extra base hit of the summer, but a base running error in between second and third, perhaps a little bit of miscommunication between him and Brett Becker. And he was frustrated, Danny. I mean, we got a good look at him going all the way back to the dugout, and it was one of those things, the team didn't talk to him just because they knew he was so frustrated, right? It's like you kind of don't want to touch him at that particular instance.
First pitch is a breaking ball that hits the outside corner, 0-1 the count to Maisel. The lone Holy Cross Crusader left from the trio that came to Falmouth. Infield has been brought in, so a ground ball, they will be coming home. Nobody covering the runners, however, so that's given them a lot of liberty. Farrell still from the stretch. Here's the 0-1. Upstairs, that gets away again. Pasek can't squeeze it. Coming home and scoring is Trey Cruz. We've now got runs scored on 2 wild pitches and 2 passed balls. This is looking like that 6th inning against Orleans. But
seriously, I mean, that was the comparison I was going to make, but it's been 4 innings of it now, Danny.
Yeah.
Because you had the 4th inning when Justice came in and kind of fell apart. He looked good in the 5th, ran into trouble in the 6th, and Farrell has had his fair share of trouble with command in the 6th and the 7th.
1-1 the count to Maisel with Nelson 90 feet away. Ball 2, misses low. And I was raving about Pasek behind home plate for most of this game because there were a bunch of pitches in the dirt. He was blocking really well. Nobody was advancing. They really couldn't because he was a wall back there. But he's got now 3 passed balls. 2 of them have brought home runs. 1 of them came with a runner, I think, on first, so it didn't score a run. 2-1, slow ground ball up and over the glove of Lo Perfido. He can't get there and make a tough backhand playing so far in on the grass, and it's a broken bat RBI single for Austin Maisel. He continues to tear it up. He's 2 for 3.
And a ribby for the now 7-hitter. He's got a double and a single tonight. Now 11 for 22. And even 500 for Maisel. You said it earlier in the game. You said, I think he can get to 500.
Don't sleep on Austin.
I said, sure thing. And you were right indeed.
Pickoff move over to first. Austin is back in time. Now, 6-1 score after that latest hit from Maisel. His first RBI of the summer. He had all those hits and no ribbies. Now he's finally got one in that ledger. And we'll have another mound visit as Mike Roberts is going over to talk things over with Farrell. He's only gotten through two-thirds of an inning. Got the final out in the 6th. Has only gotten 1 out here in the 7th. And it looks like they will be heading to the pen. We will just wait until we see the call. Long meeting, as always, with Mike Roberts. As it looks like they will be going towards the bullpen, and they'll be bringing in a righty. So we'll be right back with the pitching change and the rest of this 7th inning on the Falmouth Commodores Baseball Network. Stay tuned.
Curry College offers 14 NCAA Division III athletic teams in sports such as football, baseball, softball, basketball, hockey, soccer, lacrosse, tennis, cross country, and volleyball. Read about the success of the Curry Colonials and their championship teams. It's all online at www.curry.edu.
Redshirt Fridays is a national program created to acknowledge, honor, and support our troops who put themselves in harm's way to defend our freedom. In support of this program, the Cape League teams will be wearing a specially designed red jersey every Friday. Support our troops and join us by wearing red each Friday.
So no pitching change for Cotuit. It'll be the same pitcher after another marathon mound visit. First pitch is a strike to Steven Moretto, a breaking ball over the middle of the plate. And what really fooled me is that the righty who's warm in the pen, he hasn't thrown in a while. He was standing there. He was on the grass in foul territory, ready to come into the game. Never got the call. Ball 1 runs low.
So we've talked a lot about Mike Roberts. He's made a handful of mound visits. 15th season at Cotuit. 2 championships in 2010 and 2013.
1-1 to Steven, stays low.
And in 2012, he had one of the best regular season records in recent history on Cape Cod, and even 30-14.
Mike Roberts is definitely a gamer when it comes to the Cape League. He takes a lot of long mound visits, was calling out a lot of plays to his team early in the game. 3-1 now the count as that one runs way outside. Don't know what he said to Farrell this past break, but hasn't paid off yet. But he's a guy you mentioned, he's, calling the shots from inning number 1. He was shading guys over in the outfield, calling for time just to do that. 3-1 is shot out into right center field. Shallow. And Anu gets there, camps under it, makes the grab, and that is out number 2.
Just got a little bit under it. Maybe the mound meeting from Roberts helped as Farrell settled in.
So now with 2 outs and a runner on first, Kevin Kendall is going to take his hacks. He's up to the plate for the 4th time. Has had an interesting game. Grounded out to first, his first time up. Then was hit by a pitch with the bases loaded, so got an RBI. Then laid down a stellar bunt, and the ball caught up to him, so it hit him on the foot. He was in fair ground, called out on batter's interference. He watches ball 1 run way high.
Kendall was hit by a pitch on a 1-2 count with the bases loaded in the 4th.
Runner goes from first, throw down to second, not in time. Ball beat him, but it looks like Maisel slid around the tag. Safe is the call. And that was maybe the first close call we've seen on a stolen base in a while for Falmouth.
And I thought they got him. I mean, Mike Roberts, Cotuit, has been preoccupied with runners on first, to say the least. A lot of pickoff moves. Pasek was ready for that one. Quick pop and a good throw, just couldn't apply the tag.
1-1 the count to the lefty, Kendall with a big open stance, and that back elbow cocked hard as this one runs through the wickets of Pasek. Yet another wild pitch, and now on third base is Austin Maisel. Wild pitches, walks, pass balls, all plaguing Cotuit so far. This would be a very different game without the mess that the pitchers have put themselves in. The 2-1 to Kendall. That one goes right down Broadway. Strike 2.
Another long half inning here. Seen a few of them, especially the 4th where the Commodores batted around. And then in the 6th, Commodores put 6 to the plate. This is batter number 6 of the 7th inning.
2-2 sits low in the dirt. Good take by Kevin Kendall. Another full count. Payoff pitch, swung on and missed. He went with a fastball about letter high, and Kendall could not catch up. That will do it for the 7th inning, a long one. Falmouth plates 2 runs on only 1 hit, 1 error, and they strand a runner on third base. We go to the top of the 8th. It's 6-1 in favor of the Doors.
The Falmouth Commodores would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves.
Red Shirt Fridays is a national program created to acknowledge, honor, and support our troops who put themselves in harm's way to defend our freedom. In support of this program, the Cape League teams will be wearing a specially designed red jersey every Friday. Support our troops and join us by wearing red each Friday.
We begin the top of the 8th here at Gov Fuller Field. Danny LaRose joined alongside David Korzanowski. We got a new pitcher, Bryce Miller. He's getting a lot of action in what will be his final week.
Yeah, heading home soon, so Landry, Trundy, and the squad want to use him as much as possible before he heads back to New Braunfels, Texas. His last time out was against Orleans. That was after Falmouth had given up those 3 runs to the Firebirds, and he was locked down exactly when the Commodores needed him to be in that 9th inning. Pitched 1 inning, struck out 2, walked none, so a perfect inning for Bryce Miller.
He'll have to face 8, 9, and 1 Oviedo, Pasek, and Gonzalez. First pitch swinging, Oviedo fouls a fastball back. He's 0 for 1, walked his first time up, stranded at first, and then he popped out in the 5th. There has not been a lot of action for Cotuit offensively. They've put a runner in scoring position only once if you don't count the home run that was hit in the 2nd. 0-1 for Miller, fastball way low. Lights fully on at the Gov. Fans starting to clear out a little bit, maybe beat the traffic. Get ready for a long day tomorrow, July 4th. We will be playing. Fastball low, 2-1. Last year, one of 2 teams to get an off day. Everybody else was playing around the Cape, but Falmouth was not. Don't know who the other team was, but got an off day on the 4th of July. This time, we'll be celebrating America's pastime on America's birthday, and I think there's no better way to celebrate 4th of July. As a strike is fired past Oviedo, he swings right through it, maybe with a hot dog in your hand and watching a baseball game.
We'll be at Lowell Park, and the fans do a great job out there.
Yeah.
They fill the bleachers up quite nicely at that little field.
They're near the top in the Cape in attendance. Had over 1,000 last night. 2-2 from Miller. Fouled away.
Oviedo, just his 3rd at-bat tonight. The Commodores have had 4 innings where they faced the minimum. So a lot of these Cavaliers have only come to the plate 2 or 3 times.
2-2 comes once more. It's a breaking ball, had some great drop to it. Checking his swing was Oviedo, and he does it just in time. David Viveros, the first base umpire, says no, he did not go. So the count now full. Miller looking for a punch out to start what may be his final outing. He'll be heading back to Texas A&M along with Zach DeLoach come the fall. Slapped down the third base line. It's sharply hit, but just foul. (6-1) in favor of the Doors here at the Gov. Fox College Sports on the broadcast up in our booth, so we are down here getting our first chance to see what it feels like being in a road broadcast at Gov Fuller Field. Ground ball left side. This one will be fielded on a couple of hops on a backhand by Kendall. Throw to first in time, 6-3 put out for the first out of the inning. David, what do you think as a quote-unquote road broadcaster for the first time? I think this is a great ballpark to be a road broadcaster at.
I think it is. I think the only thing that's a little bit tough is looking down that left field line. It's tougher to see if those balls are heading fair or foul because of the angle we're at. We're basically staring directly down the first base line out towards right field. And usually at the away fields we're at, we're staring down the left field line.
Yeah.
So we run into the same sort of trouble, just reversed.
Although you can see in full view is the foul pole. You just can't tell if a foul ball will stay like playable or not, because then the trees come in and kind of blocks your view. But otherwise, I mean, you can see every part of the field, which is definitely an issue we run into sometimes, as a magnificent curveball drops in on the inside corner to the pinch hitter Sam Ferry from Arizona State University, jumping in for Cody Pasek, and he watches two fabulous breaking balls. The second one misses I don't know where, but the first one was great, and it's 1-1. Sam Ferry batting from the right side up against the righty in Miller. So Roberts bringing in the pinch hitter, but not playing the matchups. Another curveball, and this one is chopped foul. So 3 straight curves to start the at-bat, and Miller gets himself ahead 1-2. Ferry, a catcher at Arizona State, another redshirt senior this upcoming year, from Norridge, Illinois. 1-2. On the outside corner, strike 3 called. He went with the fastball, and I don't think Ferry was expecting it. He goes down a backwards K in his lone AB.
And Miller went to that curveball quite a bit in that at-bat. Why not? It was working. The only time it missed, it barely missed. 2 up, 2 down for Miller, who continues his dominance on the mound.
Pretty much every pitcher has been stellar all night. First pitch is a fastball. Trying to hold up his swing is Gonzalez. He goes around, but especially in their first innings of work. Nastrini, his first inning of work, 1-2-3. Weatherly, his first inning of work, set them down in order as well with 2 strikeouts. Now Miller has a K, and he's got the first 2 guys down. 0-1, chopped foul, quickly 0-2.
Tough night for Gonzalez, who's a strikeout victim his last 2 times up.
Falmouth pitching has been questionable at times. We've seen games where from start to finish they have really struggled. We've seen games where the starting has been good, the bullpen has been poor. This game, everything has been on point. 3 hits total for Cotuit. Miller's 0-2. Fastball, ground ball up the middle. That one will reach outfield grass. It's the first hit of the night for Nick Gonzalez. He is now 1 for 4.
So Gonzalez breaks up his tough night after those strikeouts and reaches base for the first time tonight.
Casey Schmidt now will get his chance at the plate. He's gotten up 3 times. He has been set down pretty easily all 3 times. A strikeout, a pop out, and another pop out. So a righty-righty matchup in favor of the pitcher Miller, who will be pitching from the stretch for the first time in this inning. Gonzalez stands at first. He came into the night with a .378 average. It's definitely dropped now, but he still helps his case. First pitch, fastball on the outside corner. Schmidt watches it go by 0-1. Game still within reach for Cotuit, but not if they don't get many base runners. Only their 4th hit. And they've had base runners on in only 3 innings, I should say. Home run in the 2nd. Left 2 on in the 5th, left 1 on in the 7th. Otherwise, it's been zeros. Here's a ground ball up the middle, but this will stay for Kevin Kendall. He'll take the soft flip over towards second. Cantrell squeezes, and it's a fielder's choice to end the inning. Falmouth allows no runs. They work around the one hit, no errors, and they strand a runner on first base. As we go to the bottom of the 8th inning, it's 6-1 in favor of the Doors.
Urgent care is now available at 4 Cape Cod Healthcare locations: Hyannis, Falmouth, Sandwich, and Harwich. Open after hours and weekends. Staffed by ER physicians. Expert care when you need it. Learn more at capecodhealth.org/urgentcare. Learning at Curry College extends beyond the classroom and is embedded in all they do. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers and active citizenship with a global perspective. Explore undergraduate majors, minors, and concentrations, including new majors in accounting, biochemistry, and software development. Online at www.curry.edu.
The 99 Restaurants has 9 real-size entrees for only $9.99. They're big, hearty portions you can count on all day, every day. Like the new short rib tacos or New England fried shrimp. The 99 Restaurants, proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Welcome back to Gov Fuller Field as we begin the bottom of the 8th inning with Falmouth leading Cotuit 6-1. I am joined by Gabby Lucevero. Got it?
You got it. You nailed it.
I got it. She is taking over the reins for David Korsanowski, who has been in and out of our makeshift booth at Gov Fuller Field. He's been off and on doing different things, but now Gabby is joining me. Gabby, you originally from Hartford, Connecticut, or you live in Hartford, Connecticut. You work with Fox Sports. Tell me about what you do with Fox Sports.
Yeah, so I do the field reporting for Fox Sports when we come out here and you guys let us kick you out of your press box and put some games on the air for Fox College Sports. And so I just hang out on the sidelines and do some fun interviews.
Did you give our sideline reporter, Katie Florio, any advice?
I just told her to take every opportunity she can get. That's the way I ended up here, and so that's my best advice is just say yes.
You do mention that you ended up here, and I think here means Fox College Sports, but also with the Falmouth Commodores. Gabby was an intern with the Doors. How long ago? Like
2013, so
okay.
Too many years ago. It seems like it was yesterday. It feels like I was just lugging the tables around like you guys are.
You didn't have our fancy press box at that point, did you?
You guys are so spoiled. Like, look at your setting right now.
First pitch swinging is Hayden Cantrell. He shoots one out to center field. And the first pitch of the inning will be a fly out to center.
Look at your setting right now with your folding tables and lawn chairs. That's what we were working with in the press box.
Well, we've got our ergonomic chairs that have our names on them and everything. Yeah, we definitely have it good, especially when you go around to some of the other teams. So when you were with Falmouth, you were also the sideline reporter?
I was actually the play-by-play broadcaster with Falmouth, and we will never pull those tapes up.
I was just about to say, do you want to call play-by-play for this next 2 outs?
Not in the slightest. Not in the slightest. We keep those hidden. It was an awesome learning experience, and it was.
Yeah, did you enjoy it? That's most important.
Yeah, I loved it. It was a really awesome way to learn the game in a way that I didn't. You know, I grew up a baseball fan. I love baseball, but I didn't know it nearly as well as I thought I did. And then I sat down, filled in all the gaps, and I mean, I am so much better for it.
Yeah, 44 games will do that for you. 1-2 now, the count to Blake Dunn. It's just some cursory paperwork to go over. Matt Moore from Purdue, a big lefty, will be coming in to pitch for Cotuit here in the 8th in a 5-run deficit. Cantrell led off. He flew out. Dunn is up at the plate now with Deloach on deck. So what brought you to Fox College Sports? What was kind of your path?
It was being here. I truly, just like tonight, they had a game here, and I just went and introduced myself to their sideline reporter at the time, and I did something similar to what Katie had the chance to do. And from there, I actually had a little bit of coincidence where the executive producer, I actually had recently gone abroad to Europe, studied abroad, and I met his daughter through that. So we had a little bit of a connection, but basically just got the opportunity from being around here, was back in the league the next year, got a chance to do something with the All-Star game, and then I just kept coming back.
So you're basically guaranteeing us a job out of Falmouth.
I mean,
Cool,
if you
awesome.
strong-arm your way enough, that's pretty much what I did, just strong-arm my way in. But, it's what I do. I come out here for just 1 month, 2 games, every week. And it's not the full-time job, but it's something that I love to do.
Payoff pitch is slapped over towards shortstop. Dunn tries to leg one out, and he does. Throw came in a little bit too late from the shortstop Oviedo. It was a hard-struck ball, but Blake Dunn has speed that will put most track runners to misery as he beats out that one, and he's on first base with an infield single. So what do you do during the other 11 months of the year?
Well, my 5 days a week job sometimes ends up being 6 days a week. I'm a sports reporter in Hartford, Connecticut.
Okay.
So I do the TV thing all the time.
Do you stuff with the Yard Goats?
I do work with the Yard Goats a lot, and it's really cool now as the players that I knew and I worked with when I was in Falmouth the last couple of years are starting to make their way through. So last year we had a guy who was on the 2013 team, and sometimes,
cool.
or I'll see guys who were on the other teams but still in the league, that 13-14 when I was working here as an intern.
Zach DeLoach swings at the first pitch he sees. He ropes it out into deep left field. Camping under that and making the catch for the second out of the inning is Chavers, as Dunn has to jog back to first base.
And, you come out here and every single person you say you're a Cape Leaguer, you
Right.
meet them. I mean, I recognize those names. I go to a baseball game and I'm nudging the person next
Yeah.
to me. I'm like, this was a guy, I watched him. And you just remember it and it all comes flooding back to you of this guy pitched this way and that, So
That was something that seeing the guys get drafted from last year's team felt really cool to be able to cover them, and something I look forward to is hopefully one day being, with a team and being able to say, hey, I covered this guy way back when we were both, knew nothing, and now we're at this point. But obviously that's some dreaming, but you're already able to live that out, just a couple years afterwards.
You're going to see it so much sooner than you think. I mean, my dad texted me the other day about Kevin Newman. He's with the Pirates, and he had a 19-game hit streak. And my dad was texting me. He's like, hey, wasn't that Newman kid who was there the 2 years? So we're seeing that. Reese Hoskins was on the team in 13. And, he's obviously making waves with the Phillies.
Yeah, he's okay.
That. He's all right. So we're seeing these players, and so it's really, really fun, and you're going to see these names way sooner than you think.
Running from first is Dunn. The pitch is high. Throw down to second. Blake doesn't even slide. He was already there in plenty of time. Another stolen base for the Doors as they've got a runner in scoring position with 2 outs. Danny LaRose joined alongside Gabby Lucevero on the call here on the Falmouth Commodores Baseball Network. We're stealing you away from Fox College Sports. And what else is there? There's got to be another minor league team in Hartford. Is there a hockey team?
So, yes, there's the Hartford Wolf Pack.
Yes, I knew it, of the Rangers, right?
Yeah, the Rangers. But I'm a Boston University grad, so that's another thing. It's fun. I see the BU guys who come through in the minors,
right, yeah.
When they come in here and play.
Pickoff move over to second just late as Dunn jumps back in there safely. So what's your favorite thing? Obviously, you come back to the Cape now, second year. What's your favorite thing about seeing some of the old ballparks and getting to cover these teams? Because at the end of the day, I mean, these guys are going on to big and great things. You got Reese Hoskins, who's playing in the limelight of, Citizens Bank Park. But just when you were here a couple years back, he was here and he was playing under these, pay-for-the-hour lights, on these high school fields. That's got to be something that's just so kind of surreal.
Well, and I got to tell you, too, when Reese was here, I remember our web writer, Meredith Perry, she would say, everybody's sleeping on Reese. He's going to be really, really good. Like, this has just got this quiet confidence. So she saw it before any of us did. But I love these ballparks. And I just think, Gov Fuller, it's my favorite because I grew up here. I learned to be a broadcaster here. So I know people don't like the chain link fence. It won't be the most beautiful, but you catch a good sunset here.
Yeah.
And it looks just as nice as where Orleans plays.
And you got your start here, and you are doing quite well for yourself. Gabby Lucevero, thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast. I'll be slipping you my card. Give a good word for me, please, and we'll have David Korsnowski.
I'm collecting cards.
Right
I'm just jealous of how nice your headphones are. This is not what we were working
You're back on the headset, but this time getting interviewed.
It's cushier, and these headsets are nicer. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Gabby. We'll be back.
The Falmouth Commodores would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves.
Learning at Curry College extends beyond the classroom and is embedded in all they do. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers and active citizenship with a global perspective. Explore undergraduate majors, minors, and concentrations, including new majors in accounting, biochemistry, and software development. Online at www.curry.edu.
To the top of the ninth we go at Gov Fuller Field. The last licks for Cotuit, and they have a chance here to continue the game if they can score 5. First pitch is a breaking ball from Bryce Miller, strike 1 on the outside corner. Cotuit has been pretty much down for the count all game long since the second inning as a fastball is fired in for a strike. Parker Chavers, the 3-hitter, quickly behind 0-2. David's back, by the way.
I am back.
You're no longer Gabby. 0-2 outside, 1-2.
So originally the plan was Bryce Miller for the top of the 8th, Thomas Gerard for the top of the 9th. He deals in the 8th, so why not leave Miller out for the 9th inning?
Yeah.
It's been great.
And it's not like, it's a one-run ball game or anything like that, so you're worried that, fatigue or anything. It's 5 runs, so he's got a comfortable position to be in what perhaps will be his final appearance as a Door. Taking his time, agreeing on a pitch with Nelson. Now here's the 1-2. Fouled away, back-to-back pitches now fouled back. So it's the heart of the order for Cotuit as they just looking to get anything going. 2 hits in the heart of the order. 3 had a hit that was low, 4 had a hit that was low perfido. He had a home run, and Aubrey Major had a single. 0 for Chavers. Now it's 2-2 after the breaking ball runs low. David, take us around the Cape.
I was going to do that. Let's hold off till this guy's out. How about
all right.
that? Or till, sorry,
okay,
I spoke too soon. Till the end of this at bat.
Right.
There we go.
2-2. Fouled away. Might take some time. He's definitely given Miller some run for his money. What's that, 3-4 straight foul balls now from Parker Chavers, who flew out twice and has struck out swinging in the 6th.
Again, Danny, the difference for these Falmouth pitchers, I think it's one of the keys to being an effective pitcher in general. You got to throw strikes. 18 strikes, 6 balls for Miller right now.
The 2-2, grounded foul, and that came right at the on-deck man, Joey Loperfido, and thank goodness there's that screen right in front of the Bat Boys because that would have taken out the bucket he was sitting on.
Yeah, he had a little flinch, rightfully so. I mean, if you have a fastball that's just spoiled right in your direction, it's probably going to be coming at you pretty quick.
Another 2-strike offering, and that one goes down and in, so the count runs full. Miller got ahead 1-2, but how about Chavers fighting back?
Pitch number 10 of the at-bat coming up as well.
Payoff pitch, fouled away.
Miller had his first outing on June 17th versus Wareham. Monday night game, which the Commodores won 8-5. He came in for the save and threw 35 pitches. He loaded the bases, but that seems like a distant memory.
Yeah. 3-2. Off the plate, blocked by Nelson, but it won't matter as getting his base is Parker Chavers. Leadoff man reaches with a walk.
All right, we're going to start out in Brewster.
Okay.
The Whitecaps rebound after a 12-7 defeat to the Commodores. Last night, they beat Harwich 7-5 out at Stony Brook Field. Hyannis, another tough day for the Harbor Hawks. They are losing 12-1 in the top of the 9th inning and are set to lose their 14th game of the year. Wareham up on Bourne, so Falmouth could get a little bit of separation with Bourne at that third-place spot. That's in the top of the 7th out at Spillane. And then the last game, two of the hottest teams in the Cape League right now, Orleans and Chatham, tied at 4 at Veterans Field. So we're starting to see, now that we're getting towards 20 games played in the season, a little bit of separation. You see Falmouth could take a 3-point advantage on Bourne tonight. Harwich is starting to lag a little bit in that East Division.
They're last.
7-11 with 14 points, 5 points behind 4th place.
0-1 after the foul ball by Lo Perfido is a strike on the outside corner. So 2 strikes again against Lo Perfido as Miller continues to peg the strike zone. Orleans, though, 5 straight, and Chatham 3 straight. So somebody's losing a win streak, and Orleans has put themselves into first place by only 3 points because Chatham is staying right on their heels. And that game's a good one, 4-4 in the 7th. 0-2. Breaking ball on the outside corner and right at the letters. Strike 3 called. Maybe a little bit high than we're used to seeing called, but definitely in the strike zone as that's the first out of the inning.
Lo Perfido tried to do the old bend the knees to make the pitch look high as he ducked a little bit when that pitch crossed the plate. I thought it was a strike regardless, and so did Jim Fonseca calling the balls and strikes. He strikes out for the first time tonight and finishes 1 for 3.
Aubrey Major, the big left-handed bat from Xavier University, who 2 years ago was the Big East Player of the Year as a freshman. Freshman of the Year, pardon me. Watches a first pitch fastball paint the outside corner. So Miller, despite the leadoff walk, he's been throwing a lot of strikes because half the pitches in that count to lead off the inning were strikes. They were just fouled away. Breaking ball misses outside.
Major's a big boy up there at the plate. Left-handed batter stands at 6'6", 205 from Indianapolis.
Big lefty with a big open stance. Kind of just inviting the baseball to come to his wheelhouse. He brings that front foot in, locks in, but holds up his swing as he watches it hit the outside corner 1 and 2. How about the guy on deck? It's Robbie Martin, and I saw him during batting practice. 6'3", 200, but I don't know, that frame, he just looks huge. A lot of big boys in this Cotuit roster. 1-2 count to one of them. Here's the pitch. Major, real late swing, just able to get a piece of it and foul it back.
I have a question for you because I missed it in the bottom of the 4th. That wild pitch that hopped up over the fence.
Oh, yeah.
Did that end up close by?
No, it kind of went right over the fence, like about 10 feet to our right and up over our tent that's above our heads.
Okay.
But I think it landed like way behind us.
Okay.
But it definitely sent the people sitting right to our right.
Because I sort of stood up in my seat and I kind of peeked down to see if you and Severin were all right. And Tony, too, of course.
Breaking ball, and Major just throws the bat out at it to try to make contact. He does, and shoots it a far way out into left center field. But the catch will be made nonetheless by Austin Maisel. How about that for Aubrey Major? He took a three-quarter swing, and he still was able to shoot it, 250 feet.
Not bad.
Big
Not
guy.
bad, and you can definitely see that big frame coming into play on a play like that. So Robbie Martin steps in, Danny, and he's another Florida State Seminole.
2 Seminoles right at the dish right now with Matt Nelson catching and Robbie Martin hitting. Last time this probably happened was probably during fall ball when they play inter squads. More fireworks going off over the right center field fence. First pitch, breaking ball outside corner. I was saying this with Gabby, but you're playing at these high school fields, some of them like sand lots basically. Gov Fuller Field definitely, doesn't get the most respect, but it's a good ballpark. You see good sunsets, like she said, and you got the fireworks going on in the background. It's 4th of July. You're playing baseball, and these guys are just college kids. They're not getting paid. It's got like a Sandlot-esque feel to it.
Oh yeah,
like that scene in the Sandlot when they're playing on the 4th of July and the fireworks are going off.
Well, this is one of those moments where, and I try to take a step back. Sometimes I get bogged down in the day-to-day and the grind of it all, but this is one of those moments you got to take a step back and take sort of a mental snapshot, right? I mean, this is a beautiful night. Sun has now set. Lights are on. We got a great view here down on the third base side. The only time we'll ever have this view here at Gov Fuller Field. Fireworks going off, and it's just a beautiful night.
0-2 runs too far inside. It just clips the jersey of Martin as his sleeve rattled after the ball came and clipped it. He will take first base thanks to an HBP. There are 2 runners on for Cotuit, but they still have 2 outs against them. Yeah, this is definitely a picturesque night. I mean, 4th of July coming up in just a couple of hours when the clock strikes midnight. And there will be baseball played tomorrow as well, that time at Cotuit. They will have the Cotuit 4th of July parade. I don't know if the players are in it, but they have a parade in the town of Cotuit. Very small, mostly suburbs, not too much commercial stores or anything. And then we will be playing baseball at 5 p.m. But for now, it's just baseball in its purest form. First pitch, fastball outside to Iraj Anu. Or, pardon me, Donta Williams. Righty-lefty matchup with the righty Miller towing the rubber and the lefty Williams at the plate. Compared to the 2 guys before him, he looks much smaller. They are towering over him. This fastball is lined just over our heads. About 5 feet behind us it fell.
That one I think clipped our 10 on the way by. I'm serious.
Could have, yeah. Yeah, I saw it shake.
Yeah, and then it shook more when the fans came and dashed in to try to get the foul ball.
So I mentioned how Anu, he was like, what, 6'6"? Robbie Martin, 6'3". Donta Williams, 5'10". I'm 5'10", so I mean, that's not, I don't want to call myself like really short. But looking at Williams right now compared to the 2 guys who were just in the left-hand batter's box, he looks like a little leaguer. Does not play like one, though. Hit 267 this last year at Arizona. But he watches that 1-1 backdoor curve hit the outside corner. And he's quickly down 1-2. Williams does have a single. It came in the 5th, and he hit a long fly ball in the 7th inning that was caught in center field to end the inning. Cotuit down to their final strike with Williams at the dish. Miller's pitch. Breaking ball, chopped right back towards the mound. He takes the hop and tosses it on to first base. That will end the ball game. The Falmouth Commodores defeat the number 1 in the Western Division, Cotuit Kettleers, by a score of 6-1, and they dominated, David.
Yeah, Danny, I mean, all you have to do is look at that final line and box score. 6 runs on 10 hits, no errors for the Doors, 1 run on 4 hits, and 1 error for the Kettleers. The difference was really the mistakes by the Cotuit pitching. I mean, I'm giving credit to Falmouth's bats for getting on base and working long ABs, but a lot of walks, some hit by pitches, and some wild pitches that sort of gifted Falmouth a few runs in the 4th inning. They didn't look back from there, and the pitchers continued to be outstanding.
Falmouth had all of 1 RBI hit tonight. No, 2 RBI hits tonight by my ledger, but scored 6 runs, thanks because of those wild pitches, passed balls, and the hit by pitch with the bases loaded. So Cotuit kind of shot themselves in the foot. And this game, I mean, the way we've been talking about Cotuit lately, they seem like, you know, just a wrecking crew of a baseball team. But you got to look at the standings. They're only 9-8-1. They're neck and neck with Wareham. Falmouth is coming up on them now at 7-7-1. In their last 10 games, not like they have been all that dominant because they're only at this point 5-5. You know, they're 500 over their last 10. And this game clearly showed it. I mean, their pitching wasn't all that, and their hitting mustered all of 4 hits. They really didn't do all too much either. So, again, it was pure dominance from Falmouth, and it goes to show that the Western Division pretty much is wide open.
Yeah, it's wide open. I mean, that's what you see in summer leagues are a lot of teams tightly bunched together, and some teams that'll play each other a handful of times this year. Falmouth and Cotuit will square off 5 more times this year, and I think we're going to see some more entertaining games and most likely some wins for Falmouth and probably a couple for Cotuit here and there as well.
So Nick Nastrini gets his first win of his summer after he throws 5 innings, allows 3 hits, only the 1 run. And getting the loss is Cole Ramage, starter for Cotuit from Arkansas. Or, pardon me, it was not Ramage. He allowed only 1 run. It was Evan Justice, who threw 2 2/3, allowed 3 runs on 4 hits. Justice, the first reliever, gets tagged with the loss. Nastrini, the win. Miller closed things off. He did not get a save, but he throws a stellar 2 innings and seals the deal for the Doors, who win 6-1 over the Kettleers. Falmouth has now won back-to-back games, and they'll be back in action tomorrow night at Cotuit to finish off this home and home on the 4th of July. Thank you for bearing with us on this radio broadcast from our home ballpark. Of course, Fox College Sports taking over our video stream. We're still lucky to be able to be broadcasting, of course, from this third base side. That will do it for this one. For David Korzanowski, for Severin Lavenstein, who got a moment on the mic, for Katie Florio, our sideline reporter, Tony Bianco, our producer, I'm Danny LaRose saying so long from the Gov. Falmouth wins 6-1, and we'll be right back in action tomorrow at 5.